Hello, everybody, and welcome back to AGP. As always, I am your host. I am Amanda, the owner operator of Amanda Gillen Presents, and today we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna talk about one of my favorite things in the world, Kaijus. And maybe I could convince you all that Gamera is better than Godzilla because he's cuter. But to help me in our wonderful conversation of talking everything Kaiju, first we have my co-host Fizgig with me. She's like my little Kaiju. She's like a Kaiju in mini form. And then, of course, yes, I know the intro had no sound fuel. That's because YouTube has a problem with the music. So it doesn't. You just get to see all the fun. And joining me today in our wonderful, wonderful, exciting talk about this. Why are you standing on my computer desk? And yes, I see the puppy treat. But before we, hey, I can't push the button. Hungry would like to join us. My buddy, Hungry.
Hello, happy Kaiju Day.
Because you took. Okay. So we have a puppy treat over on the Twitch side of things. Oh, well, that got her down because I activated Pupper Treater as she is assuming the position. Thanks, Phil. Appreciate that. Come here. You know the rules. If we're on camera, everybody has to see you get the treat. There you go. Because, like a Kaiju, she's hungry for more.
Yep. Oh, I hear you. I hear you.
So, welcome to your first appearance on AGP.
Oh, very happy to be here. And what a wonderful topic. I mean, for us kids, and let's face it, we talked a bit on other people's shows. We were kind of the weird kids when we were in grade school. We liked it. Yeah, I know.
Weird.
No, but I mean, we liked the cool stuff, and everybody else was, looking at what they were looking at. And the thing that's wonderful about kaiju is it translates roughly into strange or weird beast, strange or weird creature, and that's why this topic is so delightful. Yeah. Nice.
I mean, come on, guys. You can't tell me that Kinky Ghidorah is not sexy. That is a sexy kaiju.
Yes, I agree. And actually, that's my second favorite kaiju. My second favorite. And it appalls me. You probably get a little bit as well when somebody says Ghidorah. It's like, no, that's not, no, please bother to learn the name. Just listen. I mean, it's in the Japanese versions.
Okay, but we are talking about people who watch Japanese movies that have been dubbed.
Yes, true. Although the dubbing sometimes is hilarious, you have to admit. Some of the dubbing
thing can be completely hilarious, but let's face it, a true genius, a true person watches subbed. Whether it's their anime or their kaijus, you watch the sub.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Unless you're too drunk, then you can watch the dub just so you can be like, oh, what the hell do you say?
No, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. The one thing I will say though, about the subbed version versus the dubbed version is, and we'll get into this a little bit more later, is when American distributors decided to take the, yeah, you know where I'm going with this, the American distributors decided to take, Mecha Strikes In. Look, I love Babs. I really do. I had a crush on Babs ever since I was 4. But Mecha Barbara was fantastic. Oh, dude.
Don't get me wrong. I love Barbara Streisand. I can't watch her sing.
Watching her sing is difficult unless it's in a musical movie.
She does, but even in her, when she sings, she does this thing with her lip, and I'm just like, what are you doing?
Which actually looks like bad dubbing in a kaiju film.
It really does. Don't get me wrong. She has one of the greatest voices in all the world. Yes. But when I tried to sit there and watch Hello Dolly, and she's like, I'm like, please stop that. Just stop that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be honest, it makes me enjoy her more. And this will lead into something similar to kaiju as a genre. I enjoy her more when she's just being herself and it's not a musical. Movies like The Main Event, that was a great film. Mm-hmm. The Owl and the Pussycat, she was fantastic in The Owl and the Pussycat. And that leads into kind of the kaiju thing, whereas I hate to say this, Babs, let the monster be the monster, and the Japanese are the best at this. They really are the best at this.
You
Are
know,
you kind?
I am so sick of people going, Godzilla's the good guy. No, no, he's not. He's the villain. Godzilla has been the villain. Godzilla did not become the good guy until Toho got a hold of it in the 1960s, and we had to have aliens come and
No.
blah 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 blah. So then he's like, "No, I have to defend Tokyo against the aliens," and then the aliens disappear, and he's like, "Okay, cool, no aliens. I'm the bad guy again. Let's go."
I know. There's a big switcheroo in the personalities of Gojira and a couple of the other monsters, but mainly Gojira. And I appreciate that. Exactly what you just said. But I mean, there are 15 iterations of Gojira. 15.
You
In
realize
fact,
he's
more.
65 years old?
I know, dude. Senior citizen collecting kaiju pension. He's totally collecting kaiju pension, and I appreciate that. But you know what? He's 65 years old, the way Clint Eastwood was in Gran Torino. You know,
True.
he may be older and grayer, but he's going to kick all the ass in the yard.
True. So I have to ask you.
Yes.
Hey, I've been tweeting. Did you do the Fizzgig treat? I did get Fizzy a treat.
Hi, Dad Man! My
Hi,
bison
Maiden.
buddy.
Hi, Hunger. Hi, Dad Man.
Hey, Dad Man! Hello, bison buddy. Hello. Oh, fantastic!
Do you remember where, when, and what it was your first kaiju movie?
I have that in my notes to ask you. That was the question we were talking about. You naughty wench. I was going to ask you that question.
Let me help you here.
Yeah.
Owner of the show. I've been doing podcasting since 2012, sweetheart. Get in line, take some notes.
Oh, I'm back in the line, baby. I'm back in the line. I'm totally back in the line. It's like being in the back of the bus going to school. That's what the cool kids were.
That's like you coming on. That's like you coming backstage going, "You know who Ben Grimm is too." What?
I know.
Did you really
that was a
think it was
joke. That was a joke.
Baby.
You know that was a joke. I mean, that's as stupid as if I was asking you, oh, do you know who Kurt Wagner, Nightcrawler, is? I mean, for God's sake.
Oh my God. Fizzgig.
Fizzgig. Fizzgig is going Gamera. Fizzgig is going Gamera. Totally Gamera.
You're not the protector of Hungry.
No.
Hi, Mrs.
Hello, Mrs. Hello. Hello. Mrs., by the way, she loves her Asian stuff, and she likes some Toho as well.
I know.
So I'm glad to have her here. I'm really glad to have her here.
Mrs. and I totally.
Yeah, you bond very well. Can
I kick him out? Can I kick him out now?
No, you cannot do that. He's an innocent boy. He understands his version of the geek stuff, and we talked about that. He needs the bang bang pew pew. He needs that.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh.
Mrs., save me, please. For the love of God, just type it in your tube. For the love of God, please help me.
Oh,
Fuel's already redeemed one on Twitch, but just help me, because help. Save me.
But so I'll answer the question, and the answer is going to be a little bit odd. But I was in my high chair being fed baby food when I saw my first kaiju, and it just
you can remember that in your baby chair. Good God, you got a hell of a memory.
No, it was only distinct things. It was only very distinct memories. But yeah, and I can tell you the exact series it was. It was an anime series with kaiju, which is something I love about kaiju, is that it mixes with the anime. So you got the giant monsters in the anime, but it was Ogon Bato, which translates as golden bat, and so that was actually one of the first Japanese superheroes before comic books were ever printed, going back to like the early 1900s. Then it got developed into early versions of manga, and then it got developed into an animated series, and then it had a live action movie, and then there was a bit more. But it just this character fascinated me, and he was totally a kaiju, a strange beast. But when I was then a toddler and I had to be on a transoceanic flight, the movie they were showing was King Kong versus Godzilla from
American or Japanese version?
They showed the American version. I prefer the Japanese version. You would understand that, but it took a long while to track down. You know, for a
Mrs.
while.
I will get her
Yeah.
another treat when she's done with that once that you redeemed on both. Oh, this was for the YouTube message. Okay, got it, got it, got it. But thank you for redeeming the points over on Twitch as well as typing
Mm.
it in YouTube. I appreciate that.
I'm so old, I can't even understand that. I wish I could, but the Twitch thing, I'm having trouble understanding the Twitch thing. I
I will
understand
fix
YouTube.
you.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. But then that was the first time I saw Godzilla, as he was referred to in that film, Gojira, as we know, is the Japanese
Gojira!
term, Gojira, and it took. I mean, then I was only a couple years older when I saw the original. Well, no, the Americanized 1956 version of the 1954 Japanese version, the one with Raymond Burr, Perry Mason.
Mm-hmm.
And I fell in love all over again. It just reaffirmed the love. And then it was in that same year I got to see Rodan, and the original 1950s Rodan, and I adored that film. Rodan is my well, I don't know. It's either Ghidorah or Rodan is my second favorite kaiju, but I love them both. But man, that just set me down the kaiju path for the rest of my life, and I've not lost an ounce of love for them at all. And even the small ones, because we need to remember that kaiju does not mean giant monster; it means strange monster. So it can be like a Toho film. Did you ever see the H Man? Did you ever see the
Yes.
film? Oh, I love that one. Not enough H Men in it, but and it should be called H Men, not H Man, because there are like 6 H Men in it. But that is a wonderful film that I do recommend to everyone with a patience limit, because let's face it, you're laughing because you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
Oi.
You do. I mean, the gangster stuff. I mean, so much
Lord.
gangster stuff.
Oi.
And I mean, I do recommend this film to people, but you have to understand, you're going to be waiting long time between monster moments. Long. But when they arrive, they're fantastic. I mean, the special effects for 1958.
On the bright side, they don't do what the remake of Godzilla did, and you start a monster fight, and then they go, "Oh, let's go check on the humans. Can we go check on the humans? How about we don't check on the humans? No one gives a shit."
I mean, are we going to get down and dirty with kaiju love here? Because I do not like that 2014 Legendary Films version of Gojira. I mean, I hate it almost as much as I hate the 98 version.
That's a lot of fish.
Yeah, that's a lot of fish. You know what I'm talking about. Now, Godzilla King of the Monsters, I did enjoy because it rectified the problem. They listened to what the fans were saying.
Mm-hmm.
And we had some magnificent Ghidorah shots. Magnificent Ghidorah shots. God. I mean, Ghidorah was kind of almost the star of the film.
Oh, yes.
And that gives me chills.
The only major problem that I really have with that movie is actually at the end with the big climax, and they get into the battle, and then all of a sudden everything gets really dark, and you're like, "Hey,
yeah, right,
I can't see anything."
Yeah, I mean, tenebrism in movies, that's a problem I have with a lot of movies, particularly cheap 1970s horror movies. You've probably seen a couple of those too, where it's like, can you just adjust the light meter for your camera? Can you just a little bit? If the monster's showing up, I want to see the monster. I don't care if the monster looks bad. I don't care if I can see the zipper in the back of the rubber suit. Show me the damn monster.
Yeah, but you know what they're doing. Hey guys, our CGI kind of looks like crap. Can we make it dark and put a bunch of fog in it? Roger, we got this, not a problem. Hey, Wade, how's it going? Yeah, I mean that, and we see that in a lot of movies, and I'm like, but yo.
I know, but they were doing that back in the 50s, sometimes badly lighting things, but particularly in the 1970s. But in the 1970s, the kaiju movies were great because they overlit everything. You could see every detail, every damn detail. And
some details we don't want to see, like the son of Godzilla.
Yeah, no, no, that's a guilty pleasure. I do love that film.
I'm not saying it's not a guilty pleasure, but still, there's sometimes you're just like, huh?
Yes, but that introduced Kumunga, the giant spider, who looked great. Who looked great. No, Kumunga looked
That
great in that film.
introduced my least favorite because I don't like spiders.
Sorry. I forgot that. Honestly, I did forget that. I
You,
apologize.
you you do remember Amanda ran away from a spider and got bit by an alligator, so no.
I guess this is not the time to tell you I had a pet tarantula when I was 7 years old.
My best friend from high school slash junior high, who also happens to be my name as well,
Mm,
which is funny, lives in Canada
mm,
and wants to know when I'm going to visit her.
mm.
And I explained to her when she quits her job because she's a
Whoa.
spider breeder.
Oh, no. Well, I hate to get really nerdy and geeky here, but when you're a spider breeder, you're actually helpful with the people who need venom, and they use the venoms to help people with certain diseases and medical complaints. And so I do support that, but I understand where you're coming from because I'm the
Cool.
same way with leeches. I cannot handle a leech. I don't care how much they're helping other people, and I know how
Okay,
much they're helping.
so for Hungry for Christmas this year, get him the Leech doll from the Puppet
Oh
Master
God.
series.
I mean, I barely, as a kid, I could barely handle Attack of the Giant Leeches by Roger Corman.
Great movie.
It's a great movie. No, it's a great movie, but man, as a kid, it scared the crap out of me. It really did. And there were very few. The H man scared me a little bit, but going on to another kaiju film that I know that you've seen and I'm thinking that you enjoyed, Matango.
Oh yes.
Oh, that's a beautiful film.
Oh
Oh,
yes. Oh my God.
it's so cinematic. Now, for other people who don't know the Japanese name, Matango basically means mushroom. So it's Attack of the Mushroom People with the American version, and it's one of the few times that a Japanese movie was not overly edited or censored or changed. Oh, sorry, Dadman comment. I need to look at this.
No shit. They probably found the largest male spider of a certain type in fucking Australia. No shit.
We are Kumonga country. Yes, we are. I mean, the biggest one I ever had in my house, and I have an average size male hand, was 120% larger than my hand, and it was just hanging on the wall. But that was a huntsman, and they're scaredy cat. So the thing is, huntsmen actually don't mind humans, but if you move towards them, they will run, and they are lightning fast.
We're gonna see who can outrun who because here's the huntsman, here's Amanda. We're gonna see who runs further away from who one day.
I
Don't get me
believe that.
wrong. I do want to go to Australia. It's a beautiful, beautiful country and has some of the most amazing creatures and
Yes.
the most gorgeous reefs.
Yes. Oh, the reefs are great. Now we're losing a bit of the reefs, and this is actually part of one of my favorite Gojira films. We'll talk about it in a moment. We are losing. I'm not getting. I'm not getting green. I'm not getting politically correct. But there's been a lot of pollution, and there's been bleaching of the reefs here. There has been.
And global
So
warming and
yeah, yeah, exactly.
I
But
mean,
that actually leads into a question I was going to ask you because I
uh-huh.
got. Okay, so what is one of the kaiju films or TV shows that you really love that almost none of your friends care about or love?
Almost all of them, because very few of my friends watch kaiju.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I
All
mean,
right.
I'm just gonna be honest. I
Yeah,
think
true.
you
I
and
got you.
Fuel are like the first two I've ever really met that I could talk kaijus with about, which is
Oh,
funny.
that's
Because
wonderful.
I had to go find the two dudes from Australia to talk about kaijus.
You haven't found any female buds to talk about kaiju with?
Oh no, none of my female friends. The closest female
Really?
friend that I had was my other dog before she passed away a few years ago.
Oh,
But then we had to fight because I'm a huge Gamera fan, and
yes.
she didn't like Gamera movies. She wanted to watch Godzilla movies, and Godzilla's okay, but Gamera's better. But so me and my dog would fight over which kaiju movie we would watch.
Ah, so you and I are photo negatives in this respect. I do know. I respect Gamera, I really do, but I'm mainly a Gojira guy, and mainly a Toho guy. Whereas, maybe I have to admit, a lot of my resistance to Gamera merely comes
Because
from
he's
the
basically
production.
he was basically just created because of the money Godzilla was
Yes,
making.
yes, true,
And if you pay
very true.
attention, Gamera was originally supposed to be sort of a villain, the antagonist, like
Yes,
Godzilla was. But then
yes,
eventually they're like, you know what? Let's. But unlike in the Godzilla, even in the very first movie, they do have Gamera save a child,
yes.
which is unheard of with kaiju's normally.
Yeah,
And
especially at
so,
that time. Especially at that
oh yeah,
time. Yes,
so it became this thing where they're like, well, why don't we just make him the protector of Earth and children and things like
yes,
that? Because Tokyo already has its antagonist, unless aliens come, then he's the hero.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
because I mean,
Astro Monster,
yeah,
Invasion of Astro Monster. Oh God, yeah, I love that movie. That's one of my favorites. But I'm agreeing with what you're saying. But the other thing too was the production budget for the Gamera films. Let's face it, was much lower than what Toho had.
yeah, but I still like him, and he's my
I
buddy,
know,
and he was my introduction into this realm.
really, really, Gamera
Yes,
first.
Gamera versus Bagun. Is that how you pronounce it? Baijun,
Battlegun, Battlegun,
Battlegun. Um,
great
with
movie, great
with my
movie.
dad. My dad was sitting on the couch. I was sitting on the floor between his
Mm,
legs, playing with my toys on the table, and we were watching the iconic Mystery Science Theater
yes,
3000, and that's how I got
yes.
introduced to kaijus.
Really? So MST3K introduced you to kaiju? Wow. That's impressive. I love that because I have been a Mystery Science Theater 3000 fan since 1990. And that's
Godzilla's
when
a
I
better hero than most superheroes in films and comics
that
nowadays. That's
stunning. That is absolutely true. Because at least he's consistent. Gojira
which,
is
by the way,
consistent.
hi Maggie, welcome.
Hello, stunning and brave Megatron.
I like how
And
everybody else has to call him his name, and I get to call him Maggie and get away with it. So,
yeah, but that's why I'm not going to call him Meggy because that's your nickname for him. That's your nickname for him. That's special. Nicknames in Australia are a culture. Everybody gets a nickname whether you want one or not. And I appreciate that. But, you know, so what do you think is one of your favorite kaiju films that you don't think kaiju fans in general would like? Or they rate lowly. They rate on a low level.
hold on, fuel. I don't do that anymore. He doesn't give anybody nicknames. He just calls. And
I like this person.
I love the fact that you guys can get away with that word, and I have to see her going
Hmm.
as an American. Um, um,
Oh, that word is as common as dude here in Australia. I don't
yeah.
use it, but
But well, fuel does, and like so when we stream together, I'm like, okay, my dearest friend, please don't kill my channel.
so is fuel British or
No,
Commonwealth?
he's Australian like you.
Oh, rightio, rightio. Okay. And fuel, please excuse my accent. I had to change it in order to get work for 19 years in the United States, and it's not gone away yet. But he'll understand this. I used to sound like Hughesy. I used to sound like Adam Hughes, fuel. That's what I used to sound like. Don't look him up, Amanda. Don't look him up. Don't look up Adam Hughes. No, he's an embarrassment to this country. A good comedian, but an embarrassment. You're looking him up, aren't you? I can hear tipping and tapping on the keyboard.
What was the first name again? Adam.
we're talking kaiju. We're not talking mess ups. Hughesy. We call him Hughesy here. He's Hughesy. So that's an example of the nickname, etc. You know, that's one of the things I really do love about kaiju is the monsters don't get these goofy ass nicknames. You know, whereas in comic books, and you'll know this, you know, like the Hulk has a bunch of terrible nicknames. Terrible nicknames. I mean, a decent one is Old Greenskin. You know, that's okay. But you know, Mr. Purple Pants, that was a terrible nickname for the Hulk. Because, you know, he always wore purple pants and they kept those
Hmm.
in the comic books. But with certain, I mean, with certain kaiju, I admit one of my favorites, both the American
Wait, you
version
asked
and the
me a question and I'm supposed to answer.
Yeah, but you weren't answering, so I
I was
could
gonna
tell.
say 1969's All Monsters Attack.
Oh, but that's a good one though. That's a great one.
But see, a lot of people put that on the low spectrum and call that a low
Really?
point within the gut. Yes, they do. A lot of people say that's a low point, but I actually kind of like it because there's that kid in there and like it kind of
Oh,
humanizes a few
oh, you
things.
mean Godzilla's Revenge? You mean Godzilla's Revenge? All Monsters Attack is the 1968 one, where
Oh,
where
are you sure?
the female aliens come and they control all the monsters to attack all the nations of the world. And I sorry, I don't mean to correct you, especially it's your channel. I shouldn't do that. But there were two separate movies that have very similar Americanized titles, and I mean there's Destroy All Monsters, which is the Americanized version of All Monsters Attack, and then the one with a kid who is having the daydream of being on Monster Island with
Right, because
Gojira
he was
and
being
Gabra.
bullied.
Yeah, that's Godzilla's Revenge, which has
Oh,
about three separate titles Americanized.
I think one of the Americanizes All Monster it could be All Monsters Attack.
Yeah,
They could have
yeah.
done that because I know it was in 1969. I know it was really weird because it didn't make any sense with the
No, it
title.
didn't. No.
Um, I just remember the kid being bullied, so it kind
Yeah.
of,
Resonated
um,
with you.
kind of
Yes.
resonated a little bit. Because I was kind of bullied, kind of not. It depended on what school I went to. Because at
Hmm.
the time, I went through a lot of different schools with the parents getting divorced and
Hmm.
flip flopping between houses and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and the kid and he bonds with Godzilla's son and
Yes. Minya.
yeah.
Manila. Minya.
Yeah, I always end up calling it like Manila just because of the
Well,
way that it is.
that's the real name, but the way the Japanese pronounce it is Manila. Just like we got the word Godzilla because Westerners misheard Gojira. They thought that the Japanese were saying Godzilla and mispronouncing the two L's, but they were actually pronouncing it correctly. And then the Japanese go in reverse, and they have a problem saying th sounds. So Mothra became Mosura, Mosura, Mosura. But that's only because that's the way they pronounced it. And I love that. I love the honesty and the cultural mutual embrace of kaiju films. I love them. But you were saying, keep going. You were saying.
Put dog down on her own gaming chair.
Good Fiskig. Good Fiskig.
She's back. And she's back on my table again.
Well, we're talking about kaiju, and she's saying, I'm a kaiju too. Love me. You love kaiju. Love me. I understand that. Oh, look at the kissy face. Look at the little Fiskig kissy face. It's adorable. I love
Seriously,
that.
I'm just gonna change this to the Fizz Gig channel at this rate. You bring in more views than I do, and I'm the owner.
Good Fiskig. Oh, Fiskig knows where her bread is buttered. She knows. But one of the films that was magnificent but got rated very poorly was Godzilla versus the Smog Monster, otherwise known
Oh
as
yeah.
I love that one. I love that one. I like the American version. I like the Japanese version. I mean, yes, it's got a message, but it's not slamming you over the head with it. I mean, the message is just there to justify the fact that the evil monster came on the scene, you know? And you have this thing flying over Japan and turning people into skeletons. That was not done in any other Godzilla film. Any other Godzilla film. And it brought in this aspect of the classic gothic horror film into it. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was just like Matango, just like Attack of the Mushroom People. Where some of those scenes were creepy as hell. Like you remember in Matango when they're on the abandoned boat that's rotting and it's covered
Oh
with
yeah.
oh
Okay,
nasty.
so I have one.
Yeah,
Do you
go.
do you remember what was your thoughts for the 1999 movie Godzilla 2000 Millennium.
Okay, I've only seen it once, but I did honestly really enjoy it. Visually, I had a few problems, but that's just being an artsy fartsy illustrator. I like my classics, like with Ben Grimm. I like
Hmm.
the Jack Kirby, Joe Sinnott Ben Grimm. That's the best Ben Grimm, and I I did enjoy it overall, and I thought that the dubbed version was actually better than most dub versions, but I prefer the Japanese version, obviously, with the subtitles. And I thought the pacing of it was fantastic. I also really enjoyed uh, the ratio of monster time to human time.
Hmm.
And that's where the first legendary film falls down, as we talked
Oh
about
yeah.
earlier. But the cinematography of that was pretty tight. That was pretty tight cinematography.
I would say compared to a lot of the more classic ones, it's a little lower on the
Yeah,
list.
a
But
little.
but the bright side to it is it was a highlight because before that we got 1998, so that's a lot of fish.
Yeah, yeah.
So in honesty, any movie would have looked good at that point.
That is a very very good point. And
And
I
I think
mean,
that's why it
yeah,
does actually get ranked as probably a little bit better than what it actually is. Because
mm,
I think a lot of us was like, oh, thank God it's an actual Godzilla movie.
yes, yes. And you know what? It's still better than Johnny Sacco and his giant robot. You ever watch that series? Dear
Mm.
God.
Now,
Oh,
I will say this. The only good thing that came out of That's a Lot of Fish,
yeah.
1998, is the animated series.
True. That was a very well written series
That was such a
and a
great
lot of
series.
kaiju.
A
I
lot of
just hated.
kaijus. It sucks that you have to still have that horrible movie because they
Yeah.
ended on the cliffhanger with the no, we're not ripping off Jurassic Park, but we're totally ripping off Jurassic Park with our little baby Godzillas that are like freaking raptors. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. But getting to see the bond between Fruffalafalafalus, whatever his name is, I'm not even trying to say
Oh
that name.
God.
Fruffalapa worm
That's
dude.
funny.
Um, and the little Godzilla that went with it. Okay, Diamond just redeemed a treat. Maybe
Mm.
now I can be the center of my own show. Thank you. I love how she just takes over everything that I do. Um, but I think seeing the bond between him and the Godzilla, how they work
Mm.
together,
Yes.
that and making turning that Godzilla, it's Tadpolopolis, yeah, whatever.
Oh
I
God.
don't care how to,
Oh
I don't
God.
want to know how to pronounce his name. No, I don't care. Should have fed the guest. She should have a feed the guest.
Nice. Nice one, Bison Buddy. Nice one. But it's interesting that you bring up the animated series because I did watch a fair amount of those episodes
I
because
own it all on VHS.
oh, fantastic. Fantastic. The thing is that it does what kaiju movies should. Well, there's two types of kaiju movies. There's the supernatural, metaphysical kind, and then there's the science fiction kind. So I would classify Gojira as the science fiction kind. And the animated series paid a lot of attention to that. They really, they put a lot into the scripts, and a lot of times I, I don't like saying this, but a lot of times the animated series of something is better than the live action
Hmm.
series of something.
By the way, Phil, I'm gonna help you out here. You can actually call that one Godzilla or just Zilla because he's not he's not actually Gorgira. He's
Mm,
not an actual Gorgira according to Japanese. They
mm.
do allow him to be in the canon, but they just name him Zilla.
Or tuna eater. And yeah, I mean that if they had actually made that film using that design and not had anything Gojira attached to it, it would have been a decent movie.
I
I'm
all I know is I just call that one Giga Chad Chin Godzilla.
Yeah,
That one had
true.
a Giga Chad Chin. Like, oh my God, what the hell? Are you doing a Gillette commercial after this or something?
Dude, it was the Ron Perlman Godzilla.
Yeah,
It
no
was
kidding.
Ron Perlman. Oh,
That, that that Godzilla had a chin that made Jay Leno go, huh?
oh, nice, nice. Oh, dearie me. Oh, that hurts. That's so funny. I'm
That's
actually
funny.
hurting. No,
Hey,
it is.
that's
That's
the point.
oh, Jay Leno's chin scares me. I mean, he's like one step below Zadar, Robert Zadar, and you know who I'm talking about. That poor
Uh,
guy. But I mean, this also brings up, since we're talking about Zadar that goes to MST3K. Did you see the MST3K version of Godzilla versus the Sea Monster, otherwise known as
the only kaijus that I ever saw on Mystery Science Theater 3000 were the Gamaras. I never
Oh,
saw
okay.
any of the other ones on Mystery
Okay.
Science Theater 3000. I do need to totally binge that.
Yeah. Well, you'll probably have to go to, shall we say, in quotation marks, other sources. Robert Zadori.
Actually,
Oh,
a lot of times, Mystery Science Theater 3000, which has a YouTube channel, shows
yeah.
almost all of their shit for free on YouTube.
Yeah, but Toho has a reputation of taking things down that they have copyright propriety over. So there's a reason why you don't see MST3K Godzilla versus Megalon anymore, and there's a reason why you don't see Godzilla versus the Sea Monster anymore. But let me just say, the files are out there if you can find them, and if you ever need me to help you find them, I can help you find them. But
I'm sure I will be able to find them. I
I'm
mean,
sure you will.
uh,
I'm just being a gentleman. I'm just a gentleman in offering. That's all. But I mean, the it was an early one, MST3K Godzilla versus the Sea Monster, which is the Americanized version of Abira Horror of the Deep, which is also a guilty pleasure because that one is really low ranked in terms of kaiju fans, really low ranked. And I'll tell you why. Not enough Abira. Abira is not in the movie enough. Then he finally shows up against Godzilla, and it's about, like, you know what, 13 seconds, and his ass gets kicked. And stretch it out a little bit. Come on, a little bit. Now Megalon, there was a lot of action against Megalon. Megalon got a lot of screen time, which is unfortunate because basically he's a subterranean cockroach. But
mhm.
that's okay. What do you think about Anguirus, otherwise known as Anzila?
Hmm.
Take him or leave him?
Yeah, pretty much.
he's he's just an ankylosaur, she says. He's
I,
just an
I,
ankylosaur. I love ankylosaurs though.
you do realize I play a dinosaur game, right?
Yeah, that's why I brought it up.
Okay.
But when you were little, did you like the fact that they were trying to present Gojira as a cross between a Tyrannosaur and a Stegosaurus, even though that was impossible?
Yeah, well, yeah, you know what? Sometimes you just have to have some fun with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's talk about your preference for a while. Let's talk about Gamera and the monsters of Gamera. So Gamera is a giant turtle. We did have giant turtles in our prehistoric
Rocket
history.
boosted turtle.
Rocket boosted, yes.
Look, that God, Gamera is my bae. And now,
Yeah.
like I said, I believe his film debut was in 1965.
Yes.
Um,
And black and white, by the way.
Black and white. And I think it was just called Gamera, the giant monster.
Yes.
And basically, I know he was created to compete against Godzilla
Mm.
because that's making
Yes.
money. Let's do the same thing. Why not?
Yes.
But I
Well,
mean, come on. He's a prehistoric turtle,
mm-hmm.
and becoming a fan of Ninja Turtles, dude, they should have just hired him.
Yeah, that's true.
He flies, he breathes fire. Hey, But I do love the fact that he does, once they took that turn to make him more, the protector of humanity, especially
Mm,
children,
mm,
nature, and Earth from extraterrestrial races and other giant monsters, they
mm.
kept with that line.
Yes,
They didn't flip flop him back and forth a lot like they did with Gojira.
true.
Um, you know, I would have loved to seen him and like Mothra get it on. Like, let's
Oh,
go, let's bake it.
oh, no. Here's the ultimate rumble in the jungle. Okay, Gamera with Mosura against Ghidorah.
Ooh.
That would have been tasty. But, companies weren't going to be doing the crossovers back then. But, the thing I really like about Gamera, aside from the fact that he was trapped beneath the ice for so long in the first movie, they established he was, in the Arctic. And a bomber plane goes down, creates the H bomb blast, which releases Gamera, but his roar is very distinctive, just as much as Gojira's is, and equal, I say.
Hmm. He has a very distinctive roar, and one of the things that I really loved is like, so like I said, in the first one, he was
Mm,
made to be more just like Godzilla coming. He had no enemies in the first one.
mm,
Then we got into he fought all those villains as he was
yes.
going through, and then I think it's the eighth movie. They all come back, and he's like, "Well,
Hmm.
shit."
Yeah. And the other
And I
interesting
love
thing.
that one. That one, I'm just
Mm,
like, get them all, get them all, boy, get them.
oh, I hear a knock at the door. Can you vamp for a bit, and I'll be right back.
Yeah,
I'll be
I got
right
this.
back.
I got this. Here, I'll just do this. But yeah, cause and then like right, I think that was called Gamera Super Monster, which came out in 1980. And then after that, we really took on more of the hero role playing, because I think after that he became Gamera Guardian of the Universe, and then there was Attack of Legion, Revenge of Iris, and Gamera the Brave. So that's Gamera's my boy. Always has been, always will be. And when Hungry comes back, I have the cutest things I have to show him that a friend of mine made me. I forgot to grab them. I'll have to grab one off of the wall because they're hanging in my hallway. A friend of mine did these little cards for me, these little postcards, because being a huge kaiju fan and being a huge My Little Pony Friendship is Magic fan, he did My Little Kaiju artwork for me, which I absolutely love and adore. By the way, Wade, thank you so much for posting and mentioning me being live. I appreciate that. I got the notification and I appreciate that, buddy. I really do. But yeah, um before he comes back, the sexiest kaiju definitely is King Ghidorah. He's my favorite villain of all time. It's a shame that Gamera never got to fight him.
Okay, I'm
Okay,
back.
so now you get to have some fun, and we're gonna keep talking.
Mm,
But yeah, I just kind of took them through the Gamera line about how, like, right after that one, he became basically the good guy and
yes,
everything. Because I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, the one where he had to fight all of his the villains that
yes,
he fought throughout the ones was called Gamera Super Monster, and then the
yes.
ninth film, which is starting from the 1995 to 2006, he became Guardian of the Universe. Then there's
Mm,
the Attack of Legion, Revenge of Iris, and then Gamera the
mm.
Brave.
Okay, Attack of Legion. That is my favorite one out of all the Gamera films. Although
Now
I
I must
do
save me some pizza and beer. And Hungry, who's your favorite villain of all time?
villain or a kaiju villain.
Go kaiju villain, since that sticks with this reference.
Yes. Okay. I would honestly say King Ghidorah is my favorite villain because
And
he's just
sexiest.
yeah, nicely said, nicely said. But it's particularly in his first movie, Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. I love him most in that. That also has this is something that Gamera has a little bit more than Gojira films. Um, weighing on the Gamera side of the equation. It has an incredibly sexy female actress who plays the princess who gets
Mm-hmm.
possessed by the aliens, the Venusians, who were
Mm-hmm.
destroyed by Ghidorah, and she's there to take over the
Oh
body of the
no, that man
princess.
said Hungry is your favorite villain of all time. Yes.
Oh, okay. I can roll with that.
So
I can.
I have something to show you. So a friend of mine
Yay.
did some postcards for me. Now, as much
Oh.
of being a huge kaiju fan, I'm also a My Little Pony Friendship is Magic fan. I'm a brony.
Okay.
My little Zilla, my little Zilla.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, look at Mosura. I love Mosura.
Say,
You know that Mosura is the second top rated popular kaiju of all time
uh-huh.
against Godzilla. Oh yeah, little Rodan. Oh, look at little Rodan. Rodan is so
We call
cute.
him Rhodey.
Rhodey. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, that's gorgeous.
Mothra is Mothy.
Oh, that's lovely.
Here's little Mechazilla.
Oh, little Mickey.
And look,
Oh,
he even gave them their cutie marks.
oh, that's lovely. Oh, I love these.
Okay, and then your guy,
Yeah, that's my dude.
and then my guy, little Danny.
Mm. Oh yes. Oh, the other thing I really like about Gamera was they were willing to get, and this is strange comparing it to the Gojira films. They were willing to get very wacky with a lot of the plot lines. You remember the one. You remember the one where the kids get taken to the alien planet, and the chicks are gonna eat the kids' brains. I mean, what the hell? That terrified me as a kid. Seeing the little Japanese guy get his head shaved because they were getting ready to like cut his head open and eat his brain. I mean, what the hell? Only in a Gamera film were you going to find something like that. It was brilliant. And the real horror of it was that when you look at that film once you're in your 20s, not as a kid, you recognize how sexy those two women were. And you think, wow, you're having so much guts to balance off sexy women in these space outfits who are trying to eat the brains of an 8-year-old child. I mean, dude, I'm trying. I'm trying to keep it quiet. But you know what I
No,
mean?
no.
It's just there we go. There we go.
Just so y'all know, this is on my playlist. No, I can't play the music, but yeah.
Yeah.
Now we could go home. That's great. Yay! Camera! Yeah.
Yes. I love the Gamera
Camera.
song.
You're a strong camera. You're a strong camera.
It's a lovely melody. I really do like that song. I'm not saying that ironically or sarcastically at all. It's fantastic.
Da 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 dee da dee da 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 dee 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 go go go.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful.
That's my boy. It's just you started talking about it. I was like, dude, I have that saved to a playlist.
I believe it. I believe it. I mean, I've got the opening song from Godzilla versus the Smog Monster on a playlist.
Nice.
It's a good song. It's honestly a great 60s song. It's very, rah rah, let's stop pollution. It's great. But the thing about Gamera that's fantastic.
Wait. That's not. That's, if you really think about it, why was Godzilla originally created?
Well, do you mean monetarily or do you mean philosophically?
Because what did we just went here? Have this.
Yeah.
As Americans, and they went, and you made that.
Yeah, precisely.
I mean, that's actually the whole thought process. Is it wasn't that long after we dropped the Hiroshima bomb that they started. Hi, Christopher Braxton. How are you doing?
Hey, Christopher. Well, I mean that's very true, and also people don't a lot of people don't know that the development for Godzilla started 3 years before the movie came out. And so that means it was less than 7 years after Fat Man and Little Boy happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's very fresh in the minds of a lot of Japanese people who still had relatives with radiation scars. So when they see the radiation scars on Gojira, that's very different for them than it is for America, which never suffered an A-bomb attack and still has not. So when you look at it through the eyes of the people that created the film and the eyes of the people for whom the film was created, it's very deep, especially the 1954 subtitled version, Japanese version, which has some scenes that you don't see in the Americanized 56 version. And I adore that. I actually shared that film with a PhD psychologist, and they were not really monster movie fans, but they said this film is very intense. I can see where this is coming from.
So
And
when people go, oh, well, they're kind of putting, environmental stuff or non-bullying, but the very first Godzilla movie was like, look what you did and making us have to fight.
yeah,
Thanks.
yeah,
Thanks.
precisely.
You
Precisely.
know, so it's learn your history before you start talking something, maybe. I don't know.
I'll learn your history. Oh my God.
Look,
oh,
know your kaijus and why they
yes.
were created before you start dissing on how they made the movie.
Yeah, precisely. That was a lovely, lovely impersonation of one of my favorite characters from Mad TV, by the way.
Mm.
She's wonderful. But the other thing too is that with kaiju, when you look at the direct translation, strange monster, it doesn't necessarily mean giant, it just means strange. There are so many varieties of kaiju. So I know for a fact you've seen Ultraman. And
Oh
I know.
God, just she. I got the toys.
Yeah, precisely. Did you see Ultra Q, the precursor?
No, I did not know you mentioned that something.
Oh, okay, well then I'll have to send you a link later because I think it's on archive.org.
Please,
Um,
thank you.
yes, I will. And also just for the people in the chat, the originals are in black and white, but a lot of them have been colorized. So if you can't tolerate black and white, there are colorized versions. But a lot of the colorized
Who
versions
doesn't like black and white?
you'd be amazed. It appalls. There are people who I have met 35-year-olds who will not watch the 1931 Frankenstein with Boris Karloff because it's in black and white. I'm not joking.
Well,
I have
then
met
they're
people.
missing out because then they're gonna miss one of the greatest comedies of all time, Young Frankenstein, because that's in black and white.
Exactly.
Losers.
Precisely. The losers. And I mean, the original Gojira, black and white. The original, for American kaiju, kind of, you look at it came from beneath the sea, the biggest giant octopus ever on screen. And one of my all-time favorite movies. That's in black and white. It's been colorized. If you need colorization, go for colorization.
The greatest, according to filmography, the greatest movie ever created, still to date, is a black and white movie.
Yes.
Citizen Kane.
Yeah, and I do like Citizen Kane a lot. It's got no kaiju in it. We'll forgive that. But
I'm just saying,
oh,
you
no,
know, you got to expand your horizons, okay? Because there are just some things in this world that does not have the same impact once it's colorized that it does,
yes.
because the palettes of the black and white actually signify stuff within the movie. That's why it was in black and white.
And the shadowing, the balance between dark and light in the black and white films is often superior to a color film. It's very hard to get that tenebrism, that competition between shadow and light in a color film. Few people can do it. Very few.
I mean, what do these people do? Did they skip the first half of the Wizard of Oz?
That's great.
I've only seen the middle. Where's she from? Because I don't know.
Oh, so true. So true. And you look at all some of the greatest
I have not yet.
comedy films. I mean, honestly, I don't think the Marx Brothers would be as funny in color as they were in black and white, because they're balancing. When they were writing the film, they were anticipating it being in black and white. They were thinking it's going to be in black and white, so they're designing the comedy for black and white. And you look at even the second Gojira film, Godzilla Raids Again, which is the first giant monster battle aside from King Kong in the 30s, because he fought several monsters.
Oh wait,
But
I'm sorry.
yeah,
I am wrong. I actually have seen that, Christopher.
oh,
I just
okay.
didn't know the name of that. That was actually pretty decent, good anime.
Mm,
If we're talking about the one that came out in 2010 on Cartoon Network, I actually did see that.
mm.
It,
But
it, it it's there's a war between humans and kaijus, and
oh,
the boy is mom's human and the dad's a kaiju.
oh, I'm gonna have to watch this. Hold on, I'm screen capping this. Give me a second. Can you? Yeah, no, I'm screen capping this. I gotta see this one. This is good. Okay, and 1 second. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be checking that sucker out. Uh,
It was actually really good. If that's the one that Christopher's
mm.
talking.
I mean, it's kind of funny when there's this interaction between kaiju and other genres. Like kaiju became very big in Japanese anime uh, as of around 1966,
With
and that
basic kaijus, we got a lot of mechs.
yes, yes, and you the concept of a giant monster coming after people goes back in Japan to at least the 1700s, probably far before that, and it's part of their visual culture and illustration culture. And so I think this is one of the reasons why the kaiju genre feels so natural to people, even if they're not Southeast Asian, because it's a part of something we all resonate with. And the thing though about the kaiju that I prefer more than the Western culture kaiju or giant monsters is that, and I hope I, if we have a disagreement, that's great. If we agree, that's great. But they're more bizarre and oftentimes more weird than what we get with the giant monsters created in America for America. Do you know what I mean?
Um, I can see where you're coming from.
Mm,
I do know a lot of the main characters within, the Gajiras and the things like that are
mm,
actually kind of based off like lizards. We have a giant moth,
mm.
space three-headed dragon that's a god. Um,
Yes.
but
Yes.
I mean, come on. They did go giant lobster at one point and
Yes.
sewage.
Hetera, sewage. Yes, lovely. But they also have incredibly strange creatures in Ultraman that don't correspond to anything.
That is true. But take Pacific Rim. Those creatures were cool, but some of them were kind of strange too. You
Yeah,
could
good
see
point.
the influence. So
Good
I
point.
think it depends on what you watch, how much of certain you watch. Do you only
Mm.
watch the mainstream, or do you actually, once you've gotten hooked because of the mainstream, go off and go off into like the
Oh, that
star of my
Doog,
show? Um,
the Doog. Oh, I love the Doog.
or are you kind of like Hungry and I, where we go?
Well, I mean, I have to admit, I think you and I both as kids were very focused, and I think we were attracted to the stuff out of the mainstream. And that's one of the reasons I love the kaiju, because oftentimes, and this happened a lot in Ultraman and also in Ultra Q, which was the show before Ultraman, which led to Ultraman. You have this sort of dreamy, surrealistic aspect to it, and the Japanese are excellent at surrealism. Fantastic. Oh,
Yes,
I love
man,
this gig.
it is really weird because most of the time you see a streamer and they're having animal issues, it's because
Yeah.
they have a cat.
Yeah, true.
Not because of their chihuahua.
Well, I mean, as a credit to Fizzgig, though, when most people have a problem with a dog, it's because the dog is growling, wants to go out, or is angry at somebody approaching the house. Whereas Fizzgig is just being loving and saying, "Oh, mommy, come on, show me some attention."
No, this isn't attention.
Oh, oh, that's
Have you?
control.
This is you've seen what happens. So because this is on because we're on Twitch, and on Twitch, if you follow on Twitch, you earn channel points, and then you can redeem those points to give her a TREAT.
Oh
And
dear.
she's learned this. So if she wants one, she makes sure that everybody sees her and prays that
Right.
who's ever in that part of the chat redeems for the 500 points and gives her what she wants.
I love that. That is
This
so
is this
intelligent.
is this is this little monster of mine. My little
Little.
monster, my little monster. I went to work.
Mm.
She pushed the chair up to the computer desk, got up on the computer desk, got behind
Oh
the
God.
computer, and ate a $20 fresh bag of BONESs.
Wow. Holy, holy sneezes.
And so when I
Wow.
came home and she wouldn't take her TREAT,
Uh,
the first thing I noticed was the garbage can was knocked over.
oh no.
And then I came around the corner, went to the bathroom, came around the corner into my office, and my floor was covered in BONESs.
No. Oh no. Oh dear. Oh no.
Or if I leave my chapstick in my pants pocket when I come home from work, it won't be in
Mm,
my pants pocket for long because she eats my chapstick.
wow. I did not know any animals ate chapstick. Wow. That's that. Do you think it's because dogs
And
have such an
then she
incredible
also
sense of
knows
smell?
this. She knows names. She knows
Mm.
Mrs. name. She knows Fuel's name. She knows Cassie's name. She knows Dad Man's name.
Oh wow.
So when she hears those names, she knows.
Okay, I'm gonna say it right now. Fizzgig is smarter than Gamera, but that's okay.
Fizzgig the Kaiju chapstick.
Yes, nice one, Bison Buddy. Nice one. Oh, that is beautiful. That is beautiful.
So
So,
now I want you to see this.
oh, I like the keyboard.
Thank you. But do you see where she's at?
Yeah, I do.
She is now taking control. She's done this many a times. I always thought it'd be my cat who did this. Nah, it's the dog.
So you got a cat too. How do they get along?
Uh, it's hard sitting on the sideline here with you guys, but you all are doing great. Oh,
Mm,
there it is. There it is. Thank you, Mrs. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
mm.
you. Mrs. saves me again by being over on Twitch and giving the treat.
There we go.
Can I have my finger? Thanks. I need that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be called Four Finger Frodo for criminy sakes.
Mm. Well, I mean, we can talk about favorite Gamera moments, but just for a moment, do you have a favorite Ultra Q? Oh, no, I got to send that to you. That's right. But a favorite
Mhm.
Ultraman moment, a favorite Ultraman episode.
Oh, episode. Because I was about to say favorite Ultraman moment would actually be when I found out that a friend of mine was a huge Ultraman fanatic. And I
Yeah.
was like, that is really cool. So I have a friend, his name's Daryl Banks. You might have heard of him since you're into comics.
Yes.
He's
Yes.
a huge good friend of mine and a huge Ultraman fan.
Is he on Tweety?
He's on Twitter.
Can you send me the link so I can follow him?
Yes, I can.
Thank you. You don't have to do it now. You can do it later.
He's like I said, he's one of my best friends. So
No, it's okay. I just am not rushing you. It's your show. I would like to follow him on Twitter. That's all I'm saying.
no problem.
But
I'll put it in the private chat.
thank you. But
You ever come to America, I'll introduce you to him.
bodily issues mean that. Oh, okay. Oh, that's a good Tweety name. Oh, I like that.
Oh yeah, he calls himself Bankster, and he puts the little dollar sign in there.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Yeah, Daryl is probably one of the coolest people you'll ever meet. And it was funny because I finally got on my show one time, and that's when I
Yeah.
found out he was an Ultraman fanatic and everything. And it was always funny because I was always so afraid to ask him to come on the show because I always thought he was so, because
Hmm.
with working in comics and everything, as in I run two comic book conventions. You
Yeah.
meet so many people that are icons within this genre that
Yes.
they are a little no, don't go anywhere near them type.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
He's not that way at all.
Okay, hold on. Daryl Banks followed. Oh, that art is good. Oh yeah.
He's
Oh
got
yeah. I mean, I think it was mentioned to you. I used to be a comic book professional too. I worked for the Big Two and a bunch of the independent companies that paid well.
nice.
And so when I get to meet someone who actually knows how to bloody draw, it's a real pleasure. You know what I mean? Because it's like this is another thing that's great about kaiju versus current comic books. You can't actually pass muster if you don't have the talent and skill with kaiju. Even the cheap kaiju crap on Tubi is better than a lot of the comic book stuff that's going on today.
Mm.
And it's just it's a respect for the genre, a respect for the tropes of the storytelling and the monsters themselves, and it just it's like when you crave quality and you crave respect for a genre and you watch something kaiju that is even halfway well done, it's like an incredibly cold night and you put on the biggest fluffiest sweater. You know what I mean? The comfort is there. And then you have the warm cocoa. And then you settle into bed with a big quilt over you. It's just
And you put on your Rainbow Dash Friendship is Magic slippers. Yes.
yeah. Okay, I was
Right.
getting a bit mushy there. Yeah.
You know I have those, right?
Yeah, I do. I do. I do.
So
But
I have a question for you.
okay. All right.
The more new age stuff. Have you seen any of the stuff that Netflix has put out?
You mean Monarch? No,
Um,
that's not Netflix. No, that's not Netflix.
Monarch.
I'm not on Netflix at this time. So I probably
Okay.
haven't seen it. But if you tell me the title, I can tell you if I've seen it. I've tried to get through 2 episodes of
Godzilla
Monarch and I
Planet
can't
of the
do it.
Monsters.
No, I've not seen that.
You need to see it.
Okay.
I'm
I
gonna, I'm
will
gonna, I'm gonna, I'm gonna, I'm gonna bring. I'll give you just a little bit of a taste.
yeah.
Gojira shows up.
Mhm.
Humanity flees Earth because
Yeah.
his destruction. They can't stop it.
Mm. Is
They
this the
find.
one based on the game?
They come back. I don't know if it's based off of a game. I just know that I really. No. That's not how this works.
Oh, Fizz
You're
game,
not
you're so
getting.
sweet.
No, you're not getting anymore, or you're gonna have farts all night, and then I'm going to need a gas mask to go to bed. No.
Yes. Oh my God. Thank goodness no kaiju's ever had dog farts. That is the most lethal thing known to man. Doggy farts are the worst.
Oh, and
Oh.
she snores too. Oh dear God.
Oh, she snores?
Oh my God. I want to take her to the doctor see if she has sleep apnea. She snores so loud. Oh my God.
Oh, but oh, I can't imagine the image of a poor dog with a sleep apnea mask. That's just too terrible.
Oh, and if I sleep in the wrong position, mom, mom,
All right.
mom, move.
Oh
Oh, I'm sorry.
dear.
My bad. But thousands and thousands of years pass
Mm,
and we come back. Now, it has passed thousands of years for Earth, but not
right.
for the kids are now adults. Yes, she does love me, and I
Mm,
love Fizz Gig very much. She
mm,
is my pride and joy. She's too smart for her own good, though. I
mm.
promise you that, Christopher. Um, and they want to take back Earth, but Earth has changed to be more adaptable for Godzilla.
Right. I am pretty sure this is somewhat based off the game I saw, and I watched the gameplay of it, and I was fascinated by it. But isn't this the one where Godzilla is incredibly bigger than previous versions?
So he is, but that's because he's been on Earth surviving for thousands of years.
Got it. Right. Got it. I like
So
that.
it's really good.
Mm,
And there's a couple of twists in there,
mm.
and they bring in some really cool Easter eggs that, yeah, you're just like, that's cool. I like that idea. That's a really cool idea.
Now, this is the one that's anime, not live
It
action,
is it
correct?
is animated, and it's a three-parter.
Oh, right. Okay. So I do believe I've seen the first part. And I greatly enjoyed that. I haven't seen the other parts yet, but that's because I'm not on Netflix. But yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff. The other thing about kaiju is it leaves you room to move in terms of plot and development. And that can go wrong in or vaguely wrong in the way you said, as you said, Gamera is consistent, Gojira not so much. And I appreciate that. I appreciate both of them. I like Gamera being consistent and I like Gojira being inconsistent. I do. But
And
that, yeah, go ahead.
with that, they did a Gamera.
Oh, really?
Gamera Rebirth.
Yes.
Have you heard of it?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
have you seen the trailer for it?
Yes. It's
Okay.
amazing. It's amazing. It's I'm actually avid to see it.
It's so good.
Oh, the only I'll be honest, the only times I didn't like a Gamera movie is when it was very obvious that the particular movie in the franchise was rushed and didn't have enough money. But when it is not rushed and it has enough money, then I really do enjoy them. I really do enjoy them. And there are Gamera films I enjoy a lot more than some of the more, shall we say, uh, rushed Gojira films. Um, I mean, what do you think about Gigan, by the way? How do you feel about Gigan as a monster, a design, a kaiju?
That's the one with the horns, right?
He's got the beak, he's got the central eye, he's got the sail
Yeah.
fins on the back, he's got the hooks for the arms, and he's got the razor coming down the belly, the buzzsaw coming down the belly.
Mhm.
And I mean, I love the design, but they never really sort of developed his background properly.
Yeah. How I look, there's not a kaiju on the face of this planet that I absolutely am just like, ugh, what the.
True.
But I kind of look at him and go,
Yeah.
is this
Yeah.
did they try to like breed Mecha Godzilla and Godzilla together and they had this as a baby? Is that what this is?
I totally get it. I have to
And
admit, I
and,
like
and, and
that.
also, and also
Yep.
keep in mind that I may not get all the Godzilla movies in order because I never watched them in order.
Neither do I. Neither do I.
So I don't know if Mecha Godzilla came out first or not, but it really looks like somebody like Mecha Godzilla and Godzilla had a baby and that popped out, and you're just
No,
like,
you actually have it in order.
okay.
Mecha Godzilla came out first, and then Gigan came out later. And uh in some ways, I like Gigan more than Mecha Godzilla because Mecha Godzilla is just a knockoff, whereas Gigan is his own monster, his own origin. I do like that. And I like the fact he's got a different set of powers and abilities. And it's all better than Megalon, okay? Because Megalon is just a roach. I have to
Mhm.
deal with roaches, and well, not in my home, but I used to. and the places I lived, whereas roaches are an annoyance. So don't give me something that's an annoyance as a giant monster, as a kaiju.
Oh, but he's okay with giant spider kaiju. He should
Yeah.
take it. I got one for you.
Yeah.
Space
Okay.
Godzilla.
Oh, that one's kind of hard. That one's kind of, I mean, I love the concept of it.
The design is fabby.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit disco plus prog, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but I dig the crystals,
Yeah.
and the face is way menacing.
Very. It's a very frightening monster. I think the crystals were a bit too big. That's a problem I have with Gojira. Like when they make the back dorsal spines way too
Mm-hmm.
big, I don't like that. I like them to be roughly the original 1950s version, that size proportion. But Space Godzilla, yeah, I was very impressed with that kaiju villain, and I'm also very happy it wasn't a damn robot, and it was its own creature, its own essence. And that is something that's wonderful about kaiju is it's all based around the essence of the monster. They take the essence and build up. Whereas when you look at certain monsters in Western films, they're looking at the end result and then trying to find the essence. And I honestly prefer it the way the Japanese do, and a lot of recent Chinese films and other Asian films do. I like that. I like the metaphysical aspect of things. I really enjoyed those. It's too bad we've never got a good Wendigo movie, but eventually we will. We'll have a good Wendigo, or as some people
But you
pronounce it,
know what?
Wendigo.
We have things like Godzilla versus Megalon, where we get the flying kick.
You had to bring that up. You had to bring that up. Oh,
How am I not supposed to turn the
That's absolutely true. And I do. I mean, as a kid, I hated it. As an adult, I love it. Most
Okay,
people are the opposite, but yeah,
I know a lot of people are like, "What the hell is this?" But that, to me, where you said Son of Godzilla is like your guilty pleasure. That's one
yeah,
of
yeah,
my
yeah.
guilty pleasures because the human aspect in that is just so. What the hell?
I know. I
You're just
know.
like, what the? And the fight scenes, especially the flying kick, you're just like,
And then
I need,
then
I
there,
need, I need more popcorn
yeah.
now. Stop. I,
you
I, I can't look away. Bring.
but if you really need popcorn, it's when Godzilla uses his breath to fly backwards. Oh, jeez. Yeah, you've seen it.
Of course I have. Of
Oh,
course I have. What are you talking to?
oh boy, that one that hurt me. That hurt me bad. But I love it now as an adult. But as a kid, that hurt me bad. Oh, jeez. But speaking of modernizations of these monsters, how did you feel about Shin Ultraman?
You know what? I did. Excuse me.
This gig strikes again.
I'm trying to move my mouse because I'm trying to do like multiple things while we're doing this,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
she decided to put her head in my hand while I'm trying to do stuff.
Yeah, there's Fisk again. There we go.
Would you? You are just
Okay, I'm gonna grab
okay.
something from the fridge, and you vamp with Fiskig for a moment. I'll be right
Go
back.
grab yourself something from the fridge. Oh, good lord, puppy dog. Fizzy, stop. You stop. she's a mess. Says Christopher, I know you watch a lot of you've been watching the ARC videos that I've been doing. Trying to do those videos with her sometimes, oi, it can be a little ridiculous. Yes, baby girl. I'm just waiting for it because he asked my opinion, and honestly, I really did enjoy it. It's a little campy at times, but it kind of like hears to what Ultraman kind of really was, but but just has that little bit to make it good enough for today's. For me, the Shin Ultraman, I should wait for him to show up. Good Lord, how far away is your fridge? Good Lord, where'd you go? Hungry? Did you have to
Oh, I'm
travel all
back.
the way to New Zealand to get to your fridge? What's going on? No.
I know, I know. Oh, geez. But I mean,
Okay.
but with was there anything about Shin Ultraman you really liked or
Okay,
not?
so here's my thing. With Shin
Mm,
Ultraman, I enjoyed it for exactly what it is.
mm,
I think that it paid homage to a little bit of the campier side. I think
mm.
it's a great introduction for younger audiences who never saw the originals.
Good point.
Um, it embraced where it came from and put just a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? Gravitas to it when it
Yeah,
needed it.
excellent word. Yes. How did you feel? I mean, I know that the Japanese culture is different to ours, and sometimes they get a little bit oversensitive to things that they do. But with Shin Ultraman, there was this thing that I don't. I'll be honest, I don't understand where it came from. But you had this wonderful female character who was basically the lead character for the humans, and she had this thing when she got really excited about grabbing her own ass,
Oh
and there
yeah.
and like I don't mind that. I know there were some people who did mind that, but see, it wasn't like somebody
Listen,
else was grabbing her ass. It was like she was grabbing her own ass. But I don't understand the
I think
ass
I
grabbing.
think it was Masami Nagasawa.
Yeah, and great actress, and I loved her and all of it. But it did. I have to admit, it would take me out of the moment when she get very yes, let's go, let's do this, and she would slap her own ass and I was just thinking, where does this come from? I have no cultural reference for this. But then
I
the rest
and
of the movie, go ahead.
I think some of it also has to do with, I think sometimes because when they go to Americanize things, they butcher the hell out of it.
Oh, okay. All
Maybe it could
right.
just be let's see what the Americans do with this. Because for a country that's supposed to be so open,
Yeah.
they are so not open.
Mm. Do you
I
mean
mean,
Japan or America? Which one?
America.
Right. Okay, gotcha.
They're they're
I'd
they're they're
never
very they're very open with, but I mean, we're talking about Japan. We're
mm.
talking about a place that gave me hentai.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, that's not something I can handle. But if they want to do it, that's fine. But I really respect
You
what you
should
just
stay
said
out,
because
you should stay out of that closet over there. Then just warning.
tentacles tentacles are for seafood only. But no, I'm just making a joke.
And tub stoppers.
Yes, and tub stoppers. Actually, the funny thing is I say that, but octopi are some of my favorite animals in the world ever since I was 3 years old. And I think they're adorable. I had a little baby blue ringed octopus dance on my finger once.
And you lived. Congratulations.
Well, that's because I was calm and I wasn't scaring the poor little pet. And they were just dancing all along my finger, and then I heard some
You
noises.
can't sleep here. You cannot sleep here. You can't you cannot sleep here. Please, for the love, oh dear God, come here.
you know and the funny thing is that when you look at the history of Gojira and kaiju, but Godzilla being, aside from King Kong, we have to give credit to America. They created the first giant beast in cinematic history. So credit to the United States, and
Credit
fought
to
other
Harry
giant
House.
beasts. Yes,
Give credit to Harry.
yeah, absolutely. And all stop motion animators, but the thing
But
with the
but
thing,
Harry is the father of them all.
yes, yeah. Well, technically, Willis O'Brien. Harryhausen was an assistant to Willis O'Brien, and Willis O'Brien was the one who did King Kong.
Mm.
But Harryhausen did all the Sinbad movies
Oh my
and
God.
Jason of the
Jason and the
Argonauts.
Argonauts.
Yeah, well, we got to talk about that film at some point. That is brilliance. That film, and Seventh Voyage of Sinbad and Golden Voyage of Sinbad, which stars Tom Baker, who is the fourth Doctor Who, as the bad guy. But you know the thing.
No, you cannot drink energy drinks.
No, not for Fizzgig. Fizzgig's already hyper enough, dude. God, energy drinks and Fizzgig?
Fizzy, Fizzy, can't do that to my chat. Fizzy, please put my stuff back. Thank you. She's messing with my Twitch channel.
Fizzgig is so cute. I totally forgot where I was going with my comment. I got no idea.
I don't know. She has a tendency to do this a lot when I do.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. But you know, we have had on occasion Poochie Doggy Kaiju.
Mm-hmm.
And that is wonderful.
We were talking about King Kong. So
right. So Willis O'Brien was the animator for King Kong, but Harryhausen was his assistant, and then Harryhausen moved on to other things which superseded Willis O'Brien.
mm-hmm.
But they both were a team, and the respect for stop motion animation is actually very important to kaiju. So I'm really glad you brought that up, because Toho originally wanted Gojira to be stop motion animation, but they did not have the budget. And that is how we got the amazing device. Yes, the man in the suit. And also, not just the man in the suit, but adjusting the lighting because it's a man in the suit. And then cranking the camera faster to create slow motion to make sure Gojira looked slower and bigger and heftier and suffering that gravity.
Walked great with the theme music.
Yes. Oh, the music. I got goosebumps, literally goosebumps all over my legs right now. Oh, the music for the original Toho films is so fantastic. And they used actually a fair amount of it in Godzilla -1.
Mm-hmm. Now, I have not seen that yet. So
I do recommend it. I will say this, and I'll get into big trouble with a bunch of other people. It is a great movie. It is not the best kaiju movie. I will warn you, they don't shy away from letting you know they're going to focus on the family and the human relationships, like the legendary 2014 film did. I mean, it's written all over the trailers. It's written all over anything you're going to see.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because here's the thing: is I don't mind. Okay, I don't mind the fact that there are human aspects. Go all the way back to the original Godzilla, and there is the human aspect. We are following the humans.
Yes.
They're our heroes. We want them to defeat Godzilla, and I don't mind that. But when it came to the battles, which is what really everybody really got into, they never pulled away from it. Do they do that in this? Because that was my main problem. I don't care that there were people that we had to watch. I do care that somehow this one guy is the only guy who could do anything ever. What?
Well, when the battles happen, I'm not going to do spoilers, but when the battles happen, no, they don't pull away like 2014. They don't do that.
Because that's literally my biggest problem. Like, we have that scene where, like, they're in the city and they're fighting, and then the doors close, and you're like,
I hate that. So Godzilla -1 did not make that mistake. So anytime there's a battle, even though the battles are few and far between, and the battles are brief, there is absolutely a conclusion to the battle. You will not be disappointed.
Good. Because, I always hated people going, oh, the human. Okay, every kaiju movie has something to do with humans. I mean, they have to. Whether it's the humans are, I mean, dude, we followed the humans for how long in the original Mothra versus Godzilla, where
Oh God, yes.
the silkworms. I mean, in all honesty, I love the fact that everybody's like, "Oh, Mothra versus Godzilla."
I do love that movie though. That's one of
Watch.
my top. That's one
I
of my
like it.
top five. Top
I
five.
like it.
Yeah.
I do enjoy it. I do also love the fact that everybody's like, "Oh, when that big moth beats Godzilla, what is it? Mothra versus Godzilla." I'm going, that's not exactly what happens. We
Yeah.
don't really see Mothra fight him in that one.
Mm.
We see the little silkworms fight him in that one.
True. True.
We see the little fairy women thingies in their song.
The tiny twins. The tiny
Yes.
twins. Yes. I love the tiny twins. I really
I love the
do.
tiny twins. I don't get me wrong, but I always found it funny that people always mistake that it's Mothra who beats him. It's like technically it's the larva that beats Godzilla
Yes.
in that one.
Now, there was a little bit of a
Because
battle between Mothra and Godzilla before the babies come out.
but
You
he
know.
kills.
Yes.
Garzira wins
Yes.
in that battle,
True.
and a lot of people forget that.
They do. And that's in both versions, the American and the Japanese version. And it's a bit rough to take, but credit to the Japanese, the Toho people, for making us go, no, Motora, no,
I
because
cried.
I mean, the only reason that film happened was when they created Masura. That was a like a dream project for several of the people at Toho, where they wanted to have a feel good monster, and they had no realization that Mothra would become the second most popular kaiju around the world after Gojira. They thought the other ones would happen. I mean, Rodan comes before Masura. Rodan is like, I think, 1957,
I
1956, and
think the
Masura is
problem with
1960.
Rodan though is Rodan's an oversized pterodactyl.
Yeah, and here's a little fact about that. The original name was Radon, but radon is a very toxic, horrible element in the United States. So in Japan, the name is Radon, not Rodan. They had to change it to Rodan for the United States audience because they said, "Hey, look, this is going to be a kid's picture," said the distributors. "We can't sell something with a toxic name to kids. The mothers are not going to let them see the movie. They're not going to let them go see a movie called Radon. That's not going to happen." And so it came from Pteranodon. So, the Japanese took one part of the name and a little part of the name and they mixed it together. But we had to have Rodan for the Australian, British, Canadian, and American audiences. But,
And then Gamera just stole it and went, let's change the head a little bit and call it Gaios.
beautifully said. Beautifully said. Like with Gamera, though.
Am I lying, though? Am I lying?
No, you're not lying. You are totally speaking the truth. But with Gamera, you think of gamma rays, right? Gamera and gamma is just so phonetically close. And Dai, the studio's like, you guys can care about that, Toho. We don't care. We don't care. The Americans are going to buy it or they're not. And I love that. I love that. I mean, take it or don't. And Gamera is very much a take it or don't franchise. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like you accept.
And not only that, but there's a lot of people that are Gamera fans that they only take basically one of the three generations of Gamera.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They won't take Gamera as a whole.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Please expound.
Okay, so Gamera is pretty much broken up into like the three different like there's
eras.
Yeah,
like Godzilla's got the Showa era, the Heisei era. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and he's got his eras, which kind of mimic his as well. He really only has the two, the Showa and the Heisei. And pretty much there's people who pretty much just like either like the first two, because like that's all that they ever watched,
Mm.
and then they like and then there's some that like the rest. But then there's a lot of people who only like Gamera once he's the guardian of the universe, and they don't
Really?
want anything to do. They don't want anything to do, and a lot of them don't want anything to do with the first one because he's not the good guy in the first one. He's a Garhira
Oh.
ripoff.
You
And
know,
I, on the other hand, take the first one as him going, oh, okay, I'm going to do this. But his saving of the child in that
yeah,
one is what really makes him go, no, I don't want to be you. I want to
right.
be me. And I think
Yes.
what you're doing is actually wrong. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
now going to protect these people. Not because, oh, you're messing with my town and only I can destroy it, like you're the big sister and you're the only one who gets to pick on the little brother.
Yeah, right.
But I'm going to actually protect these people because they deserve to be protected.
Well, I mean, that brings up an interesting question because at the end of the film, after what you have just said, which is absolutely accurate, what happens? Gamera gets put into what looks like Fat Man,
Yeah.
all right? You know, the Fat Man A bomb and shot into space. And
Shut.
I mean, as a kid, I'm like, no, wait a minute, hold on. This is not actually fair. Not really. I mean, let's give the monster a chance. And luckily, with the other stuff, he gets the chance and he progresses. So it's almost like Dai Films um, were unwittingly creating a franchise before franchise really existed, except of course for the Frankenstein franchise. I mean, there are franchises that existed, but with the giant monster films, they were very rare, very rare. And I mean, I was so sorry to see Gamera shot into space at the end of his first movie. But when he comes back, it's like, hey, game on.
Yeah. And but also keep in mind though, for the people that are kind of split,
Mm.
um, during the when we get to Guardian of the Universe,
Oh, yeah.
that is supposed to be a reboot of the Gamera franchise.
Yeah, I know. I
So
just, reboots. I even hate the term,
I hate
but
the term, but because of the way how, like you said earlier, Gamera's very consistent, where
mm,
Gojira isn't.
mm,
It still flows and really doesn't feel like a reboot to me. It just feels like
yes. Good
recoming
point.
back of he's been gone for so long, now he's come back.
Mm,
He's not coming back as the antagonist, he's still coming back as the protagonist to protect.
mm.
He hasn't been needed for that amount of time. That's the way that I feel when they try to reboot it didn't feel like that much of a reboot to me. It just felt like he's been able to sleep this amount of time because y'all didn't need his ass.
And also, he's been in solitary confinement for a long time. He's
he,
had
he
nobody to talk to.
He walked up and went, nah, they got enough Sensi soldiers right now. We're good. I'm going to go to bed. This is the anime era. I'm good.
I mean, and this is not a debate. It's just a discussion. I mean, one of
Oh,
my problems with I mean, there are the things that you're talking about with Gamera that I really love, but the thing that I didn't like about Gamera was that the villain monsters were not living up to how wonderful the design of Gamera himself was. Whereas when you
okay.
look at Ghidorah and you look at yeah, I'm
Honey,
shutting up.
honey, once you get to my king,
Yeah.
you might as well just go put a pencil with googly eyes on it because ain't nothing going to match that.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
precisely.
you
I mean,
can't.
the design of Gamera was fantastic, even in the first film. In fact, I prefer the design of Gamera in the first film to the later five films.
I will be honest. Every time,
Mm,
when I was in my almost teens and Ninja
mm,
Turtles came out. So Ninja Turtles came out I was 10.
mm,
So I was about 10 years old and Ninja Turtles came out. And I was like, okay, cool. I like this show. This is cool. And then they brought out, what's his name? It crap. Why can't I remember his name? Help me, Slash.
Mm,
And
yes.
he had the protruding horns, and I'm like, cool. Slash is Gamera, but now he's evil.
I'm a little bit older than you, but when I saw Slash in the animation, I was kind of thinking the same thing.
I was
It's like,
like, okay, so Gamera got shrunk down, and he's now mutated, and got it.
but going back to your big boy Gamera, what did you think about Chaos, his main villain?
Oh, Rodan wannabe.
Triangle head, cheese triangle head. Yeah, I mean that. Oh boy, I love the idea of it, but the execution did not do it for me. You know, and the slow flapping wings, slowly flapping, and then
Oh
I
my
mean,
god. Oh my god. No, no, you gotta
what?
see this.
Whoa, whoa.
They turned him into a harpy and made him sexy.
Oh, no, hold on. I got to go full screen for this for a second. Hold on. Am I seeing what I'm thinking I'm seeing? No, I did no, no.
I smashed that.
Oh dear. Well, it's so like 1996 Marvel Comics. You know, it's
Hey,
so.
look. I mean, she's hot.
Okay, I'm not
Hey,
gonna
that's
I'm not
hot.
gonna
You can't.
disagree with that. I'm not gonna. Can you pull it up again? I want to have a look at that again.
Yes, I
Uh,
put that.
I mean, honestly, if it was an original character, and yeah, let me have a good look at this. An original character, I would not have a problem, but it's just or
Oh.
no. Here's an idea. And please let all the people who control the copyright and trademark of Gamera take this into account. If this was actually progeny, like a daughter of Gamera, I would love that. That's a plot point. That's a Daughters of Gamera. That's a title. Daughters of Gamera. Oh yeah, make it happen. Oh hello, Ghidorah. Hello. You're looking cute.
Hi.
That's a pretty cute Ghidorah, though. I mean, Ghidorah's not
That
supposed to
is
be cute.
bad boy biker, okay?
Bad boy biker Ghidorah.
Oh, dude, look. Pull your pants up, but nice pecs.
Yeah. Oh, dude. No, that one. No. Oh God, Jesus. I can't. No. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh,
No.
yes.
Hold on, let me go full screen for that one. Oh, Ghidorah, what are you doing? That is, oh man. So I mean,
Giving people impure thoughts on what they could do with kaijus.
yeah, well, if some people think that they can sexually identify as an office desk, then Ghidorah, that's a lot better. If they want to identify as Ghidorah, that I can handle. I mean, space monster that destroyed the civilization of Venus. That's pretty heavy duty. Pretty heavy duty. You versus an office desk? No. I am not worried about someone identifying as an office desk. But Ghidorah, yeah.
Okay, well, oops. That was the wrong picture.
Oh my dear. That is fantastic. I mean,
The stuff you can find on the internet. It's fabby.
but again, it goes back to the magic and the superlative imagination of the kaiju genre, where look at all the people from every country on earth that adore kaiju like we do. I mean, there are millions and millions of people. And back before this platform, YouTube, existed, back before Tweety, I mean, there were so many big blogs about kaiju. They get massive hits, massive reads. And that just shows you how important to the overall human subconscious this genre is. And I love that because it's mixing science fiction with the darker areas of one's subconscious. And I think that's a beautiful thing. It's something I really admire about Asian art in general, but specifically Japanese art. Very much. Going back to the 1800s. And I mean, but let's for a moment pivot away. Do you have a least favorite kaiju?
Why can't the name just left my head.
Oh, okay.
Trash monster.
What, Hedera?
Yeah.
Hedera's? Oh my God, Hedera's your least favorite? Oh no. Oh no. But I mean, the suit took so long to create and the effects took so long to make happen. Oh, Hedera. I mean, I can get it. He's basically, I mean, for you, let's face it, you're going to call him Poop Monster, aren't you?
Yeah.
Poop Monster. But okay.
Okay. I mean, other than that, in all honesty, I mean, the only other one that I'm just like, I mean, there's really, like I said, there's not really any that I really dislike because they all have their purpose, they all have their place. Obviously, the spider, just because it's a spider. Yeah, no, see, I don't think you understand. I'm not giving it a name. I just like it enough because that kaiju is ew spider.
Yes. A spider that's the size of 2 football stadiums.
Ew spider. But even the kaijus or monsters that don't get a lot of love, they still have their place. Like, oh my God, everything in Kong, the reboot, the really long, oh my God, I'm gonna have to pee 3 times to watch this.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That whole bug scene, oh.
Yeah, I can understand
things that are like, no, just and then the bamboo pole no, creepy crawly's bad enough when it's small.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. I mean, like we said, going back to Attack of the Giant Leeches, I mean, from that perspective, I do get it. But is there a monster? Let's rephrase this in a way, reframe it in a way. Is there a kaiju that you felt was badly designed or badly orchestrated or badly expressed that you don't have a love for? I have one, but I want to hear your answer first. Oh, nighty-o, Dad, man. Nighty-o, bye, somebody.
Night.
Yeah, it's gonna be late for him right now. Late for you,
no,
too.
it's only 10 till 10. Maybe Zombie Gigon?
Oh, good choice. Good choice.
Just
I mean, this is probably going to surprise you, but for me, it is Manila, otherwise known as Minya.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. I mean, I try not to put him on the list just because he's everybody's.
Yeah, I know. But the design is terrible. The visual design is just terrible. I mean, he looks like a little sumo wrestler. I don't mean to be mean to the little guy. I mean, I love the idea of him, but the execution, the design, the visual design, no, I can't handle it. I
Nope.
just can't handle it. And I don't even like Godzilla's Revenge, but Gabara is a magnificent monster. Magnificent design. And that creepy, horrible laugh he has.
Come here, you little bastard.
Are you talking to Fishcake?
No, I'm talking to my kaiju figures.
Oh, okay. But you know when Gabara goes, "Bah, bah, 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 bah," you know that is a creepy fucking laugh. I mean, great monster,
What
not a
is
great movie.
this?
Oh, look
Ah,
at him! Oh, it's so cute. Oh, yes,
have this.
yes, yes.
You're an ugly little bastard.
Well, I mean, he's so ugly, he's cute. You know what I mean? He's so ugly, he's cute.
I mean, here's the thing. We know Godzilla's in a suit, okay? His
Yeah,
son
yeah,
is
yeah,
definitely in a suit.
yeah, 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 yeah. But they could have made the suit a little better for the guy in the suit.
But that's okay. Someday he'll learn to do this and go, wee! So,
Oh, the atomic breath flying moment. We're never going to get past that. We are never, ever going to get past that.
I'll
I
kick
mean,
you! Wee!
so, all
I
right.
just
So,
want
with other kaiju films, did you ever see some of the more rarely seen ones, such as Half Human? Did you ever see that one?
hold on. Because
Oh, I get it. Sometimes you got to check. I
sometimes I
get it.
have to look just to see. Yes, I have seen this.
Right. So, what did you think about that film? Because that's like a barely giant monster. Yeah, it's 9 feet tall, so it's bigger than humans. But I mean, I'd like to hear your
I
opinion on that.
honestly, I will be honest on it. Because at this point I had already seen the original King Kong,
Mm.
and what's the one that has is it Linda Hamilton in one of those?
Hmm.
Yeah, King Kong Lives.
Yeah.
And then I think I saw this like later as a kid, and I was just like, as a kid, and I've only seen
Mm.
it like maybe once or something like that. I was like,
Yeah.
is this a really bad King Kong ripoff?
Well, I mean, in a way, I mean, Half Human is
Remember,
really
I
more of
was
a
a kid.
Sasquatch movie. It's a
Yeah,
Sasquatch movie, really.
I get that it's really kind of a Sasquatch, but as a kid, King Kong and Sasquatch were pretty much the same thing as a
Oh, I
kid.
gotcha. Right. Gotcha. Understood.
When
Right.
you gotta see my dad let me watch all sorts of stuff. And
Mm.
my dad always thought it was funny because, like, I like the kaiju movies, and I like my Friday the 13th movies, and I like my
Mm.
Nightmare Before Elm Street movies, but I couldn't watch Bela Lugosi's Dracula because the music was too scary.
Sorry, I couldn't hear that last part. Last
I
part.
couldn't watch Bela Lugosi Dracula movies because the music was too scary.
Oh, I get that. I totally get that. The music is actually half of every horror film. I get that. And the
My
music is half
parents,
of every kaiju film. Yes.
both of my parents still make fun of me to the day because the first time I tried to watch Bela Lugosi's Dracula, I didn't make it through the credits.
Wow. Wow. I do understand that. I get that, but I get so entranced by the music, it actually will lead me along with a film I would normally drop versus dropping the film because the music is so intense.
But as a child,
Oh, yeah.
Jason
Yeah.
Voorhees can rip somebody's arm off, and I'm sitting there laughing, thinking it's funny, and my parents are going, "There's something wrong with our kid."
Yeah. She can't watch Bella, but she can watch this. What's going on? I get it. I get
And
it.
then my dad, as I'm laughing, watching, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors. Oh, boobies, you can't see those. Why, Daddy? I'm gonna have them someday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I watch
Actually,
the funny burned guy now?
Nightmare on Elm Street 3 was actually a very decent movie. I respect that movie a lot. And uh it actually makes me think of a whole bunch of other Japanese movies, but that are not kaiju genre. But we can talk about other Japanese and
We
other
could
Asian
go
horror
into
films.
how, yeah, we
Yeah.
could do that. Oh my god. Oh my.
I mean, Asians are really good at doing horror, particularly if it is slightly surrealistic or
Um,
more surrealistic.
let's do Koreans.
Yeah. Oh yeah, K horror. Oh boy. Oh boy. They pull no
Let's
punches.
once you watch Train to Busan, you're like, American zombie movies suck.
Yeah. Yeah, and that film had so much to offer. It really had so much to offer above and beyond its genre. I mean, the relationships in it, the cinematography, the timing, the editing. It is a perfect film. It
If
just
you ever get to,
happens.
if you
Yeah.
ever get a chance to see it, it was originally on Netflix.
Okay.
You have to see Home.
Okay. I'm going to put that in my notes. Okay, give me 1 second to put up my notes. Must see
Home.
home. Not to be confused with the X Files episode, which was a bit rough.
No. Take Dawn of the Dead and
Oh.
put it in an apartment building with Korean monsters.
Oh, I gotta see this. Oh, yeah, I gotta see this. Oh, that might be worth the free setup with Netflix just to see that.
It's it is absolutely to die for. Um
Wow. Can you
there
pull
was
up a
an
poster?
actually I might actually be able to do you one even better.
Oh, yeah.
Um if I can find it. Oh, it's called Sweet Home, that's right.
Oh, sweet. Let me just adjust that in my notes. Okay. All right. Go there. I'm typing with one hand at the moment. Sweet home. Got it.
That
Wow.
you got to see.
I have goosebumps all over my body right now. That is exactly the kind of thing that I live to watch. Oh my! Actually, that's so good. That's so good. I'm not kidding. I need you to vamp because I gotta pee. That was so good. I gotta go to the loo.
I done sent hungry to the freaking potty. Yeah. If you haven't seen that, you definitely need to go see that because it is a great. Now, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that it is a series. It is not a what is the word I'm looking for? A movie. It is a series. So you definitely want to take some time to make sure that you have the opportunity to watch it. But it's really cool. It's got some really great twists in it, some really great designs within it, and I highly recommend it. So if you're a fan of horror, and especially if you're looking at more like the confined spaces and just that terror that comes, it's definitely a great show to watch. I highly recommend it. Oh yeah, it's they they're there's just something about it, man. Oh yeah, Christopher, it's so good. Very well acted. The
Mm,
makeup is to die for.
mm. And I mean, the thing that got me from that trailer that you just showed was the question about what is a monster and what is not. And the fact that they put that in the trailer tells me there is a lot of value in this film because
Mhm.
it's a thinking horror film versus a just a well, uh, there are so many horror films that don't have a thought in their head. And sometimes they're great for MST3K, right? You know, there's
Hmm.
no problem. I mean, you probably saw Monster a Go Go, but that that is the antithesis of what you just showed me. And I'm very grateful that you showed me this trailer because I'm going to track this mofo down. I'm going to see it. I need to see
I
this.
highly recommend it. According to Fuel, the second season's out. It's
Mm.
slightly different. Now, keep it like I was telling them. It is a series. It is not a movie. It is a series.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right.
So, the second one, it's a little bit different, but it's progressing the story.
Mm.
And I can't really give anything away because it gives away the ending of the first season.
Okay, so how many episodes in the first season?
Um, how many episodes are in the first season of Sweet Home? South Korean web series, blah blah blah. The first season. Uh, how many? How many episodes? 10 episodes for the first season and 8
Mm.
episodes for the second season.
Ah,
But trust me,
okay.
you don't even feel like you're. The only time you ever feel like you're watching a series is when you're like, next one please, next one please,
I
next one
know.
please.
Right.
That's the only reason why you would feel like it's a actual.
I mean, I got no problem with that. No problem at all. There are series that I greatly enjoyed binge watching. Um, and you probably binge watched seasons of certain shows as well. So, uh, no, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. And sometimes something that is a series deserves to be a series rather than a standalone film.
Hmm.
And we're talking about kaiju, and like nobody, when people were making Gojira, I mean, for God's sake, they didn't even realize it was going to be the end result of the monster that we had. Originally, in the development phase, Gojira was supposed to be a giant octopus. It was one of the two options they were doing, but they realized they couldn't actually do it. And they had no idea that the movie was going to take off as much as it did and become a franchise. So if something is actually designed to be a series and a franchise is just a series, then I have no problem with it. I mean, we're both comic book
Imagine
people.
Godzilla trying to be Cthulhu. Get off my elder gods.
But I mean, you know, since you're also a comic book person, you understand what I mean by that. Whereas, like, I could, I could binge watch Jessica Jones and really enjoy season one and season two, and love everything about it. And I didn't mind the fact that I was watching bits and pieces in succession, which is what
It
binge watching is. Yeah, go ahead.
is it sad that at this point the only episodes that I ever rewatch of Jessica Jones are the ones with David Tennant in it.
I'm going to pretend that I don't understand that, but I understand that. I totally understand that.
He's okay to see him in that light,
Yeah.
and and I'm like, what? But doctor, what are you doing?
No, 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 no. I get it. I get it. But I mean, I understand why so many women who love Doctor Who, particularly the David Tennant Doctor Who, okay, and they see him playing the nasty guy, and it makes them get a little fluttery. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, the nice guy's now the bad
He plays
boy.
the villain in the video game that I play too.
Oh, really? I
Um,
mean, I love Tennant. I really do.
which is why I'm really hoping that Art gets their animated series out because he's the villain.
Yeah, and
In the Arc lore,
mm,
he becomes the bad guy.
that is wonderful because he's very good at doing it. I mean, a lot of British, but particularly Irish and Scottish Gaelic people are very good at switching from the hero to the villain. And a lot of people don't realize David Tennant is Scottish because he does such a good British accent or an American accent. I
And the
mean,
thing is you can if you really rewatch when
mm,
he becomes the Doctor, you can
mm.
see that he has that tendency because he's very angry when he starts off.
Yeah, he's pretty Scottish.
He's very angry and
Yeah.
changes. And but yes, I am one of those people. David Tennant is my favorite Doctor, and I grew up on Doctor Who.
Mm,
I I started obviously with Tom Baker because that was on
mm.
PBS growing up,
Yes.
so I watched it with my dad. Um, but David Tennant definitely became. I liked Christopher Eccleston, but David Tennant is my beginning and ending, and the whole. Oh my god!
Mm. I understand that. I mean, for me, my favorite Doctor is Patrick Troughton, but
What
that's
movie is
because
Jessica Jones? Are you talking about Jessica Jones, or are you talking about Doctor Who? Because neither of those are well. I mean, Doctor Who does have
mm,
movies, but Jessica Jones is
mm,
the comic book adaptation of the character on Netflix, which is a series, and Doctor Who is a series that has gone on since I think before the world was created.
Not 1963, November 1963 is when Doctor Who first went on air
Yeah,
on
so
the BBC.
before anything else was created. That was
Yeah, pretty true. Pretty true.
I'm pretty
I
sure
mean,
I read that in the Bible. There was darkness, and then God created Doctor Who, and then He created the universe.
no, absolutely. And a lot of people don't realize Doctor Who existed before Lost in Space, and the Invaders.
It's a television show on Netflix, and it's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, Jessica
It really
Jones
is.
is honestly fantastic, and I didn't necessarily want to like the actress because of other roles that she'd been in, but the moment I saw her in Jessica Jones, I thought, no, they just gave her the wrong roles. She was in, um, God, what was it? That bitch in Apartment, whatever it was, and she was basically just designed to be the classy model looking actress who was mean and bitchy to everybody. And that's just the script though. You give her a different script. You give her Jessica Jones. I mean, she comes alive. She totally comes alive. And oh, you remember in season 2 when she's dealing with her mother? That was
Hmm.
amazing acting. Amazing acting. And very good script writing too. Excellent script writing. And I like both seasons equally, but I like them for different reasons. You might feel the same or have a disagreement,
I
but
I I I I I absolutely love the series. I
mm,
had no problems with the actress. I think she was perfectly casted. I think the cast did a fantastic job.
mm.
It's been a while since well, see, I haven't had Netflix for a while, so it's been a long while since I got to watch a lot of stuff. That's because it was my friend's account. Um,
Hey.
and Netflix ruined it all for me. Give it
Yeah,
back.
and the other thing about Jessica Jones is it takes advantage of the strangeness of the science fiction.
Hmm.
And that's something we've been talking about for 2 hours. The strangeness of the kaijus. Kaiju means strange beast. And the plots are all about the strange interacting with the normal. And that's what I love about kaiju, but that's also what I very much love about Jessica Jones. And I've read some more than a few of the comic books, and I do. It's one of the rare times a comic book person can say, I like the television version better. I honestly liked it better than the comic books. Now, we can't say that about She Hulk, but that is only because certain people chose certain other people to do the She Hulk thing. And we can also, to be fair, say that about kaiju. There are certain people that should not be doing a kaiju film, like people who shut the doors at the end of the big kaiju fight.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
that is not a person to do a kaiju
But
film.
I do want to ask you this question. What do you think of the new look of Gojira?
From Godzilla minus one.
No, the the series that we got with Godzilla 2014 to
Oh,
Godzilla King of the Monsters and Godzilla versus Kong
I okay, as an illustrator,
with his thick,
ex-illustrator,
because he's got a thick neck
he's a bit chunky. He's a bit chunky. I mean, honestly,
because of
he's
all that fish from
yeah.
1998.
I prefer him to the 98 version, but I will say he is not my favorite design. He's not my least favorite design, but he is not my favorite design. And I mean, there's no neck. The head is a bit too crocodilian. But I do love the fact that they introduced the atomic power rising up the dorsal spines thing with the atomic breath. I do like that. That's a good aspect of it.
That was the only good thing from that 2014. That was the only time I got to see anything. Ah! Okay, Godzilla's fighting the. Okay, Godzilla's
Yeah,
the. Oh, you're the only guy who could do the bomb. Now everybody else is dead. Oh, well, isn't that just convenient?
and the Mutos looked too much like Gaios from Gamera. They seemed a bit rip-offy,
Hmm.
a little bit rip-offy. And with
Yeah.
the triangular head thing and the wings, I mean, it's a little bit much. It's a little oh
There's a
that
lot of
fish.
there's a lot of
and I mean Garrett, as a director, he's very good at the people power.
hmm.
And that's fine, but then that means, if that's what you're good at, do a people movie. Don't do a kaiju movie. Choose your battles. What hill do you want to die on, man? Come on. Whereas, Godzilla King of the Monsters was just way more of everything I wanted. But then we look at the subsequent film, which we haven't talked about yet.
See, I haven't seen Monarch yet.
Oh, not Monarch. I mean, Godzilla versus Kong. Did you see that one?
Yes, I did.
Opinions, please.
I actually enjoyed it. There are a couple of, but one, I'm glad I don't have two different versions of it like the original.
Yeah, I gotcha. I gotcha.
So,
I gotcha.
in case you've never seen the original Godzilla versus King Kong, there
Yeah.
are two versions.
Hmm.
Where if you watch the American version, King Kong wins. If you watch the Japanese version, Gojira wins.
Guess which version I like best? No, I don't have anything against Kong. I don't. I don't. But how did you feel? I mean, the tone was so different between one movie and the next. Godzilla King of the Monsters, which was very dark, and I think it was a film that was
It was so
satisfactory to
dark, I didn't
adults.
get to see the fight at the end.
Sorry, God, killed me.
I mean, you have to admit, at least with Godzilla versus King Kong, I got to see that fight.
Yes. Yeah, I mean it's actually similar to when you look at the creature from the Black Lagoon. Everything is incredibly well lit. You get to see every detail of the monster. And if I'm paying to see a monster, I'm agreeing with you, Amanda. I want to see the monster. I do not want everything shadowed out at all.
I kind of liked the fact that Godzilla knew exactly where Kong was at every moment,
Yeah,
and that scene. Thank you.
Christopher.
That scene where they're like, they've got him strapped to the barge, and here comes in Godzilla, and they're
Yeah,
like, "What do we do? What do we do? Release him! Just fucking let him fight!"
yeah,
And, and it's like Kong's like, "Fuck you and your ships! I'm beating this bastard." And the fight scenes were great.
yeah.
Learning a little, learning a little bit of backstory on Kong was actually quite nice. About
I
his
agree with that.
family and stuff like that, and knowing that he needed, his home and that,
Mm.
that axe really to defeat Kong because there was no other way, or to beat Godzilla and there was no other way. And then, the humanoid going underneath, and now we have to
Mm.
make Mecha Godzilla, which I do like the twist of them using kaijus to make the Mecha Godzilla.
Right,
I
right.
really enjoyed that. But the Mecha Godzilla felt like a little bit of a third wheel. But I get it because they didn't want to do an ending that they've done with the originals, either one. So they
Excellent
bring in
point.
this third antagonist for the two to do this, look at each other and go, all right, you know what, we cool.
Yeah. I agree with all of that. And it's funny because I used to dislike the movie Fifth Element,
Hmm.
and Dadman and Appion caused me to like it because of their review and point of view. And you have just made me like that film way more than I previously did. So credit to you. And I'm not saying that to suck up. I'm just
Oh,
honestly, I'm thinking back on the film and going through the memory tapes, and I'm thinking, yeah, Amanda is correct about this. And yeah, I'm going to watch it again. I'm going to watch it again thanks to you.
you're welcome. Like I said, I do have so something that Dad Man's learned with me is I can take almost anything and find the slightest silver lining. The slightest silver lining.
Yeah.
Um,
Teenage Caveman by Roger Corman. Excoriated by MST3K. Yeah, we can find some good moments here.
it,
But I mean, with the film that you were describing, I'm thinking that and now I used to have 5 complaints. Now I got one, thanks to you, and I'm applauding you. I'm
thank you.
applauding you. But
I think it was really well done, and I thought that it brought the two franchises that they had originally individually
yes, yes,
together
yes.
very well.
It's like the Marvel and DC team up we're never going to see happen. We will never see the Fantastic Four with the Challengers of the Universe from DC
Well,
teaming
that's
up.
not necessarily true. It depends on how much more Disney wants plans on buying.
Nice, nice. But with to agree with you, the mix up of Kong and Gojira was beautifully done in that film. The only thing that I still have reservations about was some of the secondary human characters that were just it was like they took some GI Joe characters and put them into a Godzilla film, you know? And that part, I'm a bit iffy about, but you've actually really turned my opinion on that film. I'm going to enjoy watching it again this week. I really am.
Like I said, other than there's some of this, the humans got a third party into it, but eventually it ends up playing out its part because they need the
Mm,
Mecha Godzilla, so we don't have the same ending that we've seen in two other movies that were exactly the same except for
true.
the ending. Um, so it's like I can give that a pass. Plus,
Mm.
seeing Mecha Godzilla being created from other kaijus and just watching how that just went all wrong for.
Nicely said.
Oh,
Nicely said.
good. The egotistical billionaire who thinks he can do anything.
I know. Oh God.
You haven't been watching movies, have you?
I know. I know, but I mean, there were kind of implications of that in the early kaiju films, both in um, Godzilla versus Masura, otherwise
Hmm.
known as Godzilla versus the Thing,
Hmm.
and you have bad capitalistic people causing the problems there, and then in the original 1962 Godzilla versus King Kong versus Godzilla, then, again, we have somebody saying we have to go to Kong Island to get a giant monster so we can have something to get our promoters to pay our television show for. And I mean, the satire in both in the American version, but more so in the Japanese version of King Kong versus Godzilla in 1962 was pretty amazing. I've never seen the like of it until we got to Shin Gojira. You've seen Shin Gojira, yes? Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
god, I've got the poster in my living room for fuck's sake. I I know a lot. I saw some other people going, "What the hell is this?" I was like, "Are you not watching him develop? Are you
Right.
not watching him go through his stages? This is so freaking cool for me."
Yes. Yeah. I mean, A friend of mine on YouTube, Klobby does not like that movie at all, but that's just somewhere we got to agree to
Well,
disagree.
then, no, that's where Klobby's wrong, and he's just gonna have to realize it.
He's right about everything else, but just on Shin Gojira, no, Klobby is wrong. A better friend of his than I am, Mark, right? Mark
Mark
loves
D
that
with the
movie.
C,
Yeah, he
and
loves
that's
that
because
movie.
Mark.
And he's also a massive Ultraman fan. So like Mark knows his kaiju. He knows his kaiju very much. He also knows his Micronauts.
Oh,
And here's the funny thing. I've never met a fan of Micronauts that don't love kaiju, and I've never met a fan of kaiju who doesn't love Micronauts. So interesting thing. I think it comes about with the intelligence and the creativity of the core concept behind the kaiju and the Micronauts, and that's a Mark D with a C thing, absolutely. But with Shin Gojira, I mean,
Micronauts was a Marvel comic, wasn't it?
yes. After it was a toy franchise, presented to America, but it was a toy franchise that was Japanese beforehand. So it did very well in Japan. So they thought, let's export this to the Americas. And it did very well for a year, then dropped off because some of them, quite frankly, coming out in the 1970s, just after the petrol. Oh, sorry. Let me rephrase that for American people in the chat. The gas crisis of the
Mm-hmm.
early 70s. So everybody's budget was tight. Some of these toys were too expensive. They were just too expensive. And that's going to cut down on things. But, it's the imagination behind the toys and the imagination behind the kaiju that is a perfect match, an absolute perfect match. And you look at certain things with the
Yeah.
Micronauts like Biotron and Baron Karza, they really do visually match up with the Japanese precepts of design. And this is something wonderful about the Japanese where there you go. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, I knew you had it. I knew you had one there. Yeah, absolutely.
It
But
was just funny because I'm like, I think I have that.
yeah, right on, sister, right on. I love that. And now with certain kaiju, I know your favorite is Gamera, but what is your favorite visual design in terms of kaiju?
Kinky Ghidorah. How can you even ask me that question? The
I
only
have.
thing sexier than my king is my Lord Cthulhu.
He's got a pretty good design too, though. We have to say, a pretty good design. Good old tentacle face has got a pretty damn good design. But I
Hentai
mean,
closet. What are you expecting?
and Ghidorah, I mean, just so classic, going back to the multi-headed dragons of Japanese and Greek history. I mean, he is. I won't say the
He's a
Japanese Hydra,
dragon,
but
and he's a
yeah,
king, and he's a god, and he's a Hydra, and he's golden.
and he comes from outer space, which is delicious, absolutely delicious. And
Why
he's
is
just,
it? Why are both of my lords from places that if I went there and I had no suit on, I'd just suffocate and die?
I know they're so cruel. They won't let us join them. It's so cruel of them to be in an environment where we
Oh,
cannot
Christopher,
commune.
you have no idea. I am 44 years old, and I have been collecting comic books, action figures,
Yeah.
coasters, and my house looks like a comic book shop and a toy shop threw up.
Oh, that's a beautiful
You've
description.
seen parts of my house, haven't you?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think it is more organized and better looking than threw up. I wouldn't say threw up. I would.
Well, I'm very OCD and anal
Okay.
retentive, so It's like everybody makes fun of me because they're like, "Well, why do you need so long to prep for for doing a show?" And that's because not only do I have to do hair and makeup because I do show my face during the podcasts,
Yeah,
but I need to make sure that my room looks clean because I don't know.
I
No, no.
hear you.
But Christopher, just to give you an idea,
Mm,
there's some of my stuffed animals. There's my
beautiful.
Star Wars curtains. You can see some of the toys. There's some toys up there, and behind.
Mm, wow. Look, you need to stop showing this because people are
Oh,
going to break into your house and
Savick!
sell this
Oh
stuff
my
on
God!
eBay.
Stop. Lieutenant
Kitty!
Savick!
Kitty!
Lieutenant Savick, down.
Oh, Savick. Perfect name. Oh, look at the kitty. Look at the kitty.
Now she's
Oh.
fully grown.
Mm.
She is almost 15 years of age, but she suffers from
Wow.
dwarf. She suffers from dwarfism, so she will always
Okay.
keep her kitten body.
Okay. Well,
And you are
wow.
shedding
That's a lot
madly.
of good movement for 15 years of age. That's, oh, wow. Aging well, baby. Aging well.
Christopher,
Nice.
you're obviously. By the way, thank you for being a subscriber to the channel.
Yeah.
He watches a lot of my ARC videos.
Mm,
You see that I play video games.
mm,
Now you know I'm a toy collector. You saw that I collect comic books.
mm.
I collect stuffed animals. Oh my God, I have to show you the cutest thing I got for Christmas.
Oh, okay. Good.
I'm sure you've heard of those raging things of Squishmallows.
No, I haven't.
It's
What's a squishmallow?
so squishy.
Oh, that's adorable. Oh, I like that.
It's like a pillow, and it's couture.
It's so cute. Oh, it's adorable. Oh my God. Oh my God. I love that. If I could just wave a magic wand and send
Like,
out 1,000,000 of those, I
oh
would.
my God, yes, yes.
Oh, it's so squishy. It's so squishy. Oh, hello, kitty.
Why?
Hello, kitty. It's so funny. It's like Lieutenant Savick said, I saw the dog getting all the attention. It's my turn now. That's
Ooh,
beautiful. Hello, Putty.
she is
Hello.
actually asleep right
Good Putty.
now. She's
That's
asleep
a good Putty. Yes.
because
Look at
he's
the
asleep.
Putty. A little Putty. Oh, there you
So,
go.
please continue petting yourself.
You know, the interesting thing is we never had a cat kaiju. Considering the popularity of cats in Asia, I would have thought there would have been a cat kaiju. We have a dog kaiju. Why don't we have a cat kaiju? I mean, come on.
Because we're saving that for something else.
Okay, all right. All right.
Because I'm about to show you.
Okay.
Kitten Cthulhu.
Oh, that's adorable. Oh.
Kitten Cthulhu.
Oh
Kitten
my God.
Cthulhu.
Oh, that is so wonderful.
Meow. I'm gonna
Oh.
take your soul.
Well, you'll get this joke. The Egyptian goddess Bastet may have something to argue about that, but you know what? If it's a choice between Kitty Thulu and Bastet, I might have to go with Kitty Thulu. Look
I'm
at
not
Kitty Thulu.
Cthulhu. I control Tarira.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Okay, so since you do collect comic books and you've enjoyed comic books since you were young, did you ever see the 1970s Marvel comic book of Godzilla illustrated by Herb Trimpe?
Yeah, I own it.
I knew it! I knew it!
And because I have it signed.
Oh, you've got it signed.
Oh yeah, he's been to
Oh.
my show.
Oh, yeah, Herb Trimpe, man. Oh God, I love him. I
Savick,
love him.
stop trying. No. You can't. No. Okay, one, get off the comic book. Two, stop trying to kill Prince Vegeta.
Oh, it's
He's already
kitties
dead.
are
He's got a halo.
kitties are always naughtier than doggies. I don't know why. I don't know why, but they get naughty. They get very naughty.
She went to kill him again. He's already got a halo. Leave him alone.
Ah.
Look, so I have my like little figure collection.
Mm.
So I have my Sword Art Online,
Oh, nice.
and then I have my Bengals Ducky,
Oh,
and then I have my Carmen San Diego,
yes, Carmen.
and then I have my Dilophosaurus Frank,
Oh, beautiful.
my Rainbow Dash, because I'm a
Oh, yeah.
brony, and my Wire Cobra Commander.
Wow. Oh, hold on. I got to go full screen for that one. Give me a second.
Oh, hold on.
Okay. Oh.
Savick, stop! You just opened up my G-Force.
Kitty tail. Kitty tail. Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, yeah.
From a friend of
Oh,
mine, he does a lot of these. Look for Twisted Wire.
twisted wire. Okay. I got to write that down in the notes as well. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Twisted wire. Got it. Good. Oh boy. Savick is just needing some attention right now. Look at that kitty tail in the camera. Oh, now it goes down because I mentioned it. You are such a
No,
cat,
because
Savick.
I'm petting.
Right. Hello, little kitty. Hello. Good putty. Good putty. Oh, what a lovely putty.
Oh my God, you're shedding so bad.
Oh, yeah, they will shed.
I know she
Oh,
does.
oh boy. But
Yeah.
speaking of which, I mean, aside from, and I will say this, we need a kitty kaiju. We haven't had a kitty kaiju yet. But if you could have any kaiju that's not been seen before made into something for us to enjoy now, what kind of kaiju would it be?
You know, be messed up. A
Mm?
unicorn kaiju.
Yes, that would be messed up. I think I could support that. I think I could support that. Yes. Yeah, but would you have it be a true unicorn or a messed up unicorn, like a cyclopean unicorn?
Mm,
How would you do it?
it would be black
Mm-hmm.
with a silver horn
Mm-hmm.
with demon bat wings.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. What do you think? What should we do?
Yeah. I love those. Those are great. Oh, do you have Dalek ones?
No.
They need to make Dalek fingertips. They need to do those. That'd be great. Oh my god. Oh, that is beautiful. Oh, that almost looks like it's from Destroya.
Mm-hmm.
Godzilla versus Destroya. Oh, that's that is a movie I
You
really
know what? You know
enjoyed.
what?
Yeah.
It would probably look somewhat like this.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
It would probably look something like this, but it would be on all fours.
Yeah.
And I probably wouldn't do the scorpion tail. I probably have the tail fire. So
That would be good. That would be great.
damn, the way Hungry said kitty cracked me up. Ooh, you know what? You know what? Oh, I got it. 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 Where is my Rapidash? Do you know who Rapidash is?
No, I don't. Well,
Dude, you need to work on your Pokemon.
no, it's Pokemon. Okay, all right. I'm a bit old. I'm a bit old.
I'm 45 and I know my Pokemon.
Okay, I have watched probably 12 episodes of Pokemon. I will admit that. But most of the Pokemon I know comes from South Park, which is not Pokemon, and I understand that. But I have watched and enjoyed Pokemon.
So this is Rapidash. So
Oh,
I would
lovely.
combine Rapidash and boom, that would be my unicorn kaiju.
That would actually be amazing. That Oh, that would be fantastic. I can visualize that very, very easily. God, that's a good choice.
You love the fact that I'm like, oh wait, hold on. I'm so nerdy. I'm gonna combine my kaijus with my Pokemon. Hold on. Hold
No, it's
on.
brilliant. It's actually brilliant because Pokemon have strange beasts. They are technically kaiju.
Mhm.
And that is fantastic. I love that. Oh, oh boy. Now I just wish I had the time to actually illustrate that, but it would take so long to conceive of it properly. But I do, I mean,
Well, get
did
on it
you?
because I can't draw, so you're gonna have to do
Yeah.
it.
I, I'm actually, oh boy, I'm so weak and tired these days. I can't do it. But with Godzilla versus Destroyer, um, did you like the humor elements with human characters in that?
Yeah.
I
I found it to break it up a little bit more.
Yeah. I will be honest, I really did enjoy the humor elements. It's one of the things I really do like about the film. But the overall film, I mean, yeah, I enjoy all of it. All of it. And it's like some of the later Gamera films where some people feel a bit iffy about them. It's going back to what you said, where some people like the older ones or they like the newer ones and they can't really bridge the gap between them. But I I think that the films have such value in a storytelling way that I don't understand why people have a choice between the two. So, I mean, I love Gojira films from 54 to 64 to 74 to 94 and to today. And I recognize them as all different. And with the Gamera films also, you know, and with the Ultraman thing, same thing. So, one of the things I wanted to ask you was why do you think that certain people have this sort of age range with the kaiju stuff?
I think I could best sum this up with basically the same thing. Okay, you and I.
Yeah.
We're gonna use Star Wars as an example. Okay,
Perfect. Right.
you and I, original trilogy.
Right.
That's all. That more storytelling.
Mm,
Like the first one takes a little bit longer to really get into the action.
mm,
The second one, again, it still takes a minute to get into the action, but you know where you're at. It takes a little bit more because it's more about the story.
mm,
We grew up with it being more about the story.
mm.
Next generation, you've got prequel.
Ah.
Flashy, 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 flashy.
Yes. And a lot of fucking exposition. Sorry, swear jar. My apologies.
But if you pay attention to the
Yeah.
generation that likes the prequels,
Yeah.
they like the flashy, 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 flashy.
Okay. All right. Got it.
Okay? I hate to say this, but a lot of people, they're, look, kid, keys, movement,
Right.
you're entertained.
Okay, so to use an animation metaphor, it's like the Johnny Quest generation versus the SpongeBob generation.
Hmm. Even
Okay.
though I love SpongeBob. That shit's just funny as hell. I hear the words, oh, that's in a pineapple under the sea.
Oh, I get you. I get you.
That's just one of those things. That's like, I want to be the very best.
Oh, that's
I'm one
beautiful.
of I'm one of those people.
Do you have a SpongeBob figure? Why did I even ask? Why did I even ask? Oh my God. Oh, I'm
He's a
starting to
he,
like him now.
he's a baby SpongeBob.
Oh, that's very cute. Okay. See, again, you're starting to turn me. You're
Yeah,
starting to turn me.
he gets to sit next to Darth Vader, who's holding BB-8.
Oh, nice. Can I see the BB-8?
Yeah, I like my BB-8. I know a
Oh,
lot of
that's gorgeous.
okay, so I know a lot of people really hate the sequel.
Uh-huh.
I really enjoyed The Force Awakens.
Mm.
I enjoy it. It was to me, the people that want to. There are two fails with the Star Wars sequels, and
Mm.
I'll tell you what they are. The first one, obviously, is the backlash of some of the things that was said by Disney
Mm.
and doing the three different director things. And their biggest fault, of course, is putting J.J. Abrams to have full control over the third movie.
Yes.
The other fail, in all honesty, are the fans.
Okay, fair enough.
And here's why. Force Awakens comes out. Oh, it's too much like the original. We want something new. We want something new. We don't want that. We don't want a rehash of the original. We want something new. We want something new.
Mm-hmm.
So what did they do with the second one? They gave the fans what they wanted.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What did we hear for the backlash? I want it to be more like the original.
Mm.
Make up your fucking mind.
Pick a lane and drive in it. Yeah,
Now, for
precisely.
me, I get it. The Force Awakens had a lot of rehashing, but coming from, I saw the originals. I saw CNN in space, aka the prequels. I Hi, let's watch CNN in space. That's all that was. Oh my god, hello. I do not know.
Mm.
Um and then here comes the Force Awakens.
Mm.
Oh my god, it feels like Star Wars.
Yep.
I don't care that they've rehashed a lot of the stuff. It felt
Mm.
like Star Wars. To me, if I had children and I took them to see that movie,
Mm.
they would get to feel what I felt when I saw the original.
Yes. Yes.
I do
I
have
mean,
an R2D2. He's in the living room. He's remote controlled.
I hear exactly what you're saying. That's the way I felt about Rogue One. I honestly felt because being a little older than you, I saw Star Wars when it came out in '77 in the theaters. No, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that there was a feeling
You
there.
were 2 years too late to see it.
No, I'm sorry.
Thanks.
I'm sorry, but it was an amazing situation in the theater, and it was groundbreaking for science fantasy, not science fiction. We understand our terms with that, but Rogue One had the emotional feel of Star Wars 77. I will never say A New Hope. It's not A New Hope. It's Star Wars. Came out in 77. That was what was on the poster. That is the movie. And the the Rogue One vibe was very similar. We have to be, you and I have to be fair to certain people who didn't grow up at a certain, oh, that's gorgeous. I love that. Oh, I love that. But, we can't expect people who are under 35 to be able to recreate things that people who are over 70
Hmm.
made back in the 1970s. I understand a lot of people want that, but people I mean, they're growing up with smartphones, they're growing up with laptops, they're growing up with everything, and they're not having walk 5 miles in the snow to get to school like so many of us did, and I just say that as a joke because that's something that we talk about a lot of the time. But this is also something to stay on topic with the topic of today's conversation. You know, there are certain people, myself included, who have a few complaints about Godzilla minus one, and saying, okay, so it's not exactly like the old kaiju films, but you can't expect someone who is so much younger and wasn't even around when those films were made to really recreate something. And with kaiju and Star Wars, would you agree with this? Um, we You can't just do the same thing over and over again. There's got to be room to grow and modulate.
I will actually touch on this subject because this is something I've said quite a few.
Okay.
We know a lot of people. We've
Mm,
hung out in a lot of the same groups. We've
mm-hmm.
heard a lot of stuff from some of the same groups.
Mm,
And there are a lot of people out there. I don't like it because it's not what I grew up with.
mm.
Well, guess what? You're old. You're not the demographic anymore.
Don't listen, Dad, man. Don't listen. I love him, but I'm joking with
I'm
him. But
sorry,
please go on.
but
Please
you're
go on.
not the demographic
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
You can complain about what the comic books are doing, or
Mm,
what Disney is doing,
mm,
or what they've done to anything else or any other property. But
mm.
you're not what they're after.
Yes.
Because if they constantly focus on you, they're going to lose the little ones
Mm,
that are growing up, which are the next generation that has
mm.
the money. And if you don't hook them now, sorry, it's starting to sound like a really bad brand right here, which I'm not going to mention because I don't want to lose my channel.
Yeah,
Um, damn, I'm just saying because I'm one of those people. I'm
yeah.
old. I have to realize I'm not the demographic anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They'll sell me the nostalgia stuff to get my
Mm,
money,
mm-hmm.
but they need them, the kids.
Yeah.
And what do the kids want? Because they need to hook them so when they're into their 20s and 30s and they're little nerds like we were, and we're like, oh my God, I have a job and look at all this stuff and look at all this shinies and oh crap, I
Mm-hmm.
forgot to pay rent.
I forgot
They're
to pay rent.
they're the demographic that they want.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
can't stay in there in that time frame for
Mm,
us because they gotta get it, no matter what it is, whether it's toys or comics or movies or cartoons or TV shows or
yes.
streaming services. You need to go after the next generation because if
Mm,
you don't go with what the trend is,
mm-hmm.
you lose that. That's money. I'm sorry, at the end of the day you can say whatever you want. But Marvel, DC, Disney, Warner Brothers, they are businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to look at it from a financial point of view.
Yep. Now, I will say this is not a counterpoint, it's a consideration, and there's a difference. They need to look at what that younger generation actually wants versus what the older people catering to them thinks they want. And
Wait, there's
in
older people actually catering to these kids because I never see them.
no, I would from the comic book point of view, yes, there are people who are way over 50 who are trying to sell
Oh my gosh,
to the
Heath,
younger
thank
people.
you so much for the 40
Oh, nicely,
biddies. Thank
nicely
you
done.
so much. How you
Not
doing, my brethren from Ohio?
oh, Ohio is a good state. That's a nice state.
Actually, Heath and I live about 15 minutes away from each other, and we didn't even
Really,
realize it. Yeah.
really, that's fantastic. But in essence, I agree with everything that you just said. And I think that applies to kaiju as well, where I mean there are a lot of people who did not like Shin Gojira, and I don't understand it,
Because
but
I
there
think it
are
was too slow moving for them.
I would say artistic, not slow moving. It was an
But
artistic
to
movie.
okay, but artistic. Okay, when I say slow, love you too, Heath. Hold on. Mwah. Um,
I mean, it's a thinking movie. It's
but
a
but
thinking
but
movie.
as okay, but take as a yeah, thinking, artistic. That's what I mean by slow movie. Not that it's actually slow, but I'm coming
Right.
from their point of view. For them, it's a
Gotcha,
slow moving
gotcha,
movie.
gotcha. Right. Not a lot of flash bang every 5 seconds.
Right.
Got it.
Again, taking into consideration Star Wars, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, speak your mind, Amanda. I, it's really hard for me. If you haven't noticed, I'm very shy and introverted.
But I mean, going back to the first
But
and second Star Wars
let,
films
let's
to
put it
back
let's
you
put
up.
it this way:
Uh,
people who prefer Star Wars over Star Trek, Star Trek's a lot of talking.
Yeah, very talky. Very
So
talky.
there, a lot of people who don't like Star Trek is because it's very talky.
Mm. Yes.
And there are people that they just have to be stimulated. They have to be.
Mm. And
You
then,
know.
to be fair, there are people who suffer from what's referred to as overstimulation, and therefore they prefer the talkie. And I'm agreeing with you; it goes both ways.
Hmm.
But please go on, keep going.
But where was I going with that?
You were talking about people who like the pew pew bang bang of Star Wars versus Star Trek, and
Right.
we were discussing how different personalities have different predilections
Right.
towards different genres.
And I think that's why when I sometimes call a movie slow, which
Hmm.
all in all honesty, I will look at you into this day and I will go, yes, Star Wars is slow.
Star Wars? Really? The original?
And if you compare that Star Wars to the other two,
Oh, that's true.
the first
That's
one really
yeah.
is my least favorite out of the original trilogy.
Really? Wow. Okay. No, I respect that and I understand it. I'm just having to get into your headspace and visualize that.
But
And
I can
yeah.
understand. But there's this part of me. If
Mm,
you would have asked me as a kid, what is your favorite
mm.
Star Wars movie? Return of the Jedi, little teddy bears. Pop, 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 pop.
The Ewoks. Oh my God. The Ewoks. Oh, oh no. I mean, I was in my teens when I saw that film, not a
See,
kid.
that man was older, and I
Yeah.
understand. And as an adult, I understand the adult's point of view from then.
Mm,
But if you talk to someone more my age, that
mm.
really Return's probably the first one that you remember seeing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's the greatest Star Wars movie ever, from a kid's
I,
point of view.
I totally understand that because um one of my
As an adult,
cousins,
obviously, it's Empire.
so one of my cousins is around your age,
Hmm.
okay? And so when Return of the Jedi came out and they were very young, we talked about it. I said, "Why do you like this?" And they said, "Ewoks." And I said, "Okay, why do you like the Ewoks?" And they said, "Because they're like us. They're kids fighting back." And I thought, now I get it. You are relating to these groups of characters because they correspond to
They're the
something in your
underdog.
life.
They're
Yes.
underdogs. You get into Return, and there's this dark, spooky place. So as a kid, you're
Oh,
kind of like,
yeah.
ooh, and then you see the red corn, you're like, ah, and but there's the music and the dancing. You're kind of like, okay,
Mm,
well maybe I can hang out in this place, and then everything goes haywire, and then there's the Starlight Pit, and everything's bright, and you're like, okay, I can't see shit,
mm,
and then now there's this meeting, you're like, okay, time to go pee, and then we get
right.
into the battles, but it goes straight into the battles, and here they are at Endor, and now they're having to fight off these teddy bears, and oh no, the teddy bears are actually good. And then they start beating all
Mm.
the mechanical things. And I really hate the people who go, "Oh my god, the Empire got beat by a bunch of teddy bears." No, first off, first off, first off,
Okay.
the way they
Yes.
defeated the Empire really does end up working, because first the Empire's on their territory.
Yeah,
They
yeah, all
know
right.
these woods. They know what to do. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, you take two. You you drop a log on a car, it's gonna go smash. Guess what? I'm pretty sure the same
Right.
thing happened. So I don't understand this whole, oh my god, they never would have beaten. No, they really would. They use the logs in a very smart way. Smash
Mm.
the sides, roll them out from underneath their feet,
Yes.
drop rocks on their heads. How many times you be told, do not drop a penny from a really tall building, you'll kill someone.
Yeah. And also to back you up here, a lot of the people that complain about Ewoks do not take into account history that we have in our own Western English speaking nations.
Hmm.
And you look at the Maori from New Zealand, and they were very technologically improficient compared to the British. They
Hmm.
beat the British. The British had guns. The Maori had uh, chipped axes made from chipped stone and other materials. I mean, their technology was the equivalent of the Native Americans facing off with the military in the
Hmm.
United States in the 1800s. And yet the Maori won. They did win, at least in one big battle.
I
And
will
so,
guarantee you the Native
yes,
Americans of this land lost to the white colonists
mm,
because of disease more than anything else.
I would agree with that. I would agree. And the Maori did not suffer that. But the thing is, you can't look at a film and dislike a film because somebody who is technologically improficient is winning the battle, because it comes down to the brains behind the battle, the cunning
The
of the
The
Ewoks.
Ewoks are smart,
Yes, very smart.
and
Very smart.
they're very smart. First off, they blend into their scenery really well, so you're not
Oh,
going to
yeah.
see them.
Hmm.
And third, they know guerrilla warfare,
And because they're fuzzy, they're very quiet. You can't hear them.
and they got to hump Harrison Ford's legs. So,
And let's face it, they were smart enough to worship 3PO as a god. That's pretty smart.
yeah. But I can also use Star Trek as the same thing. As a kid, whale movie.
Yeah. Right on cue. Right on cue. That was perfect. What a good duke. What a good duke. Oh. Okay, I'm going to let you vamp for a bit. I need to get more juice. I need some juice. I'll be right back.
We're gonna take this small commercial break to put the puppy back in her chair. So yeah, so if I ever say something slow, unless I'm actually talking about I hated that movie because it was just slowly moving. If I'm trying to go from the perspective of the younger generation, there are a lot of people that like more flashy type stuff. I hear a lot of people talk about, oh well, you can't hate on what is it? Revenge of the Sith, because of the epic lightsaber duel between Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker. And I look at them and I go, oh, that lightsaber dance that they did. Because to me, that was just a very choreographed dance. I didn't find it to be a great lightsaber duel. I really didn't. And then people are like, oh, but Yoda. Okay, Yoda looked like Kermit the Frog on crack, in my opinion. I am not a fan of the prequels. The only thing I think the prequels did better than the sequels is it was a more coherent trilogy because it all went together, unlike the sequels. And so I see as um I am glad that a lot of the people have the same agreement with the Godzilla 2014 one, that they put way too much focus on the people, because even as someone who doesn't mind bringing in a story and development, I really do like that. I want to care about my characters. Never, ever, when I have two kaijus battling, you are moving the mouse everywhere, child. Don't cut away. She nailed it on the head. Fizzy, you make this very difficult sometimes, my love. I love you so much. You know this. I know. You're ready for bed. We won't be much longer, I promise. I know. You're ready for mommy to go to bed, see, so you can go to bed. She'll take little naps, but she won't go to bed until I go to bed. She has to sleep with me. She is my baby. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray.
Look at the
But yeah,
putty. Look at
okay.
the doggy and the putty.
Thank you. Give
There
me
we
back
go.
my mouse. But yeah, like I was saying, if I'm talking about something slowly, unless we're actually
Mm,
talking about a specific movie, and I go, oh my god, I
mm,
could not stand it because it was so slow. I don't mind. So a great example would be, let's go back to Godzilla 2014.
mm,
At first I didn't mind the human aspect of it.
mm,
Yes, true. Um, but when the Godzilla movie, and don't get me
mm,
wrong, I understand that the human aspect is part of it, but they
mm.
never pulled away from the fights. And when you start pulling away from the fights and
Right.
it's nothing but,
Yes.
story filling, and you didn't even do it right. So for
Right.
me, the 2014 Godzilla is a very slow movie because
Mm,
it makes no sense because I don't there's no character development within any of these
mm.
characters.
True.
There's really no character development. The best character development, you killed him off so he could go make more blue whatever in Breaking Bad.
Mm,
Killing off Bryan Cranston, he was like the only one that actually had any kind of an arc because of the whole situation at the beginning of the
mm.
movie with his wife and everything. Everybody else, there's no reason to care for any of the characters. There's no character development. You're trying to tell this story from the human perspective, but there's nothing
Mm.
part of the human perspective to give a shit about.
Agreed.
If you're not
And
going to give me that, give me my kaiju battles.
they have the one star in the trailers that are bringing everybody in, and they kill that star off early.
See, that doesn't bother me too much because that's kind of that just reminded me of like when they promoted Scream, starring Drew Barrymore.
Good point. Oh, that's a very good point. Oh, okay. I'm changing my mind
Which
again.
of course goes into playing into the Psycho movie.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
precisely. Precisely.
and in all honesty, good play. How do you get people to bring in? What's the number one show right now? Break It Back. Get him.
Yeah.
And like I said, his development and the whole thing with his wife
Mm.
and the part with his son, but the fact that you did all of your character development on this guy and you ended up killing him off, and his son is who again?
Well, I mean, it's the opposite of a setup with a payoff. So they give us all this setup and we get no payoff. And honestly, I mean, I would only have needed him to be in the movie for another 15 minutes for it to be okay. Just another 15 minutes. But, he died hungry, no mercy. He died too early in the
He did.
film. He died too early. And then you have people in Godzilla versus Kong who should have died earlier. And I'm talking about minor characters, secondary characters, not
Mhm.
the main characters. And then you have everybody in King of the Monsters, where I think they had the appropriate amount of life in the film on celluloid. A lot of people complained about the mother and daughter relationship. I don't really have a problem with that. Do you?
It didn't bother me either way. I can see their point of view on it, but I was just like,
Hmm.
I don't care. Just bring me my king.
Show me more Ghidorah. Just show me more Ghidorah. Give me more Ghidorah. We'll be happy. I get it.
One note in mind here.
Yeah. But honestly, going back to that film, did you like the redesign of Rodan and Rodan eating the Air Force pilots?
Actually, I kind of liked it.
So did I.
I was like, cool. Now I'm actually afraid of you for once. Cool, great.
Yeah, precisely. Now, the first Rodan in the 1950s was scary, and there were two. We didn't find that out until the end of the film, but there was a
Right.
male and a female, and they actually ate a couple of humans. Now, that was the first one. Then we get to the next Rodan in Ghidorah King of the Monsters.
hmm
And that Rodan is made to be a little bit more child friendly in terms of design. And then Astro
Toy
Monster.
sales.
Yeah, exactly. But I like the fact that they brought back Rodan as a menacing monster in the legendary King of the Monsters, Godzilla King of the Monsters. I did enjoy that. And I enjoyed the increase in scale. The monster. Oh, sorry. Yes.
Sir, you said goodnight hours ago.
Ah, Dad, man, you're still here. Oh, now I'm embarrassed about what I said about Star Wars and Ewoks. Oh no, Dad, man's still here. No, that's beautiful.
hmm
Oh,
hmm
but were you okay with the increase in scale with the legendary films? Oh,
Oh, good. He just got up. He missed all of that. That's okay. You can rewatch it, Dad,
good.
man.
Okay. No, don't rewatch what I
Oh,
said.
totally
Don't do that.
rewatch it.
No, do
It's
not
all
rewatch
old.
it. I mean, I get that they need to go bigger and better, and I have to admit, I don't have a problem with the increase in scale of the size of the kaiju. I don't mind. I don't mind.
I'll be honest, I don't mind it either, only because, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Pacific Rim came out.
Yeah, good point. Very good point.
With Pacific Rim, which obviously the first one is fantastic, the second one you're just kind of like, it's
Yeah.
okay. I can watch it, get some popcorn, maybe order a pizza, get some wings, and I can watch it, no problem.
Good
It,
point.
it,
Pizza movie. It's a pizza movie.
it's a popcorn pizza movie. That's what
Yeah.
it is. But those kaijus were bigger, badder, because they were fighting mechs. And in all honesty, if this universe keeps going, eventually they're going to bring in the mechs, so they're going to need their kaijus to be bigger.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
if they don't have them bigger, I mean, it always ends up in mechs. Eventually they form the head and make a Voltron and they fight.
Voltron. I love the fact you said that. Oh my God, Voltron. That is perfect. Which also is totally kaiju since Voltron fought some kaiju. Well done.
Well,
Well
yeah, well,
done.
I mean, it is an anime
It
originally. Go
is. It's a
Lion.
good anime. It's a good anime. I mean, but even before Voltron, there was the Mighty Raideen, which is my all-time favorite anime. And Raideen fought against giant kaiju all the time. And those kaiju were bigger than the original Gojira, who was only approximately 149 feet tall. But hey, oh, there we go. Christopher Braxton. Well done. Well
But
done.
yeah, at least this is where I think it's taking it, is not to go full Pacific Rim, but eventually
Mm,
I would, if you really want my opinion, I would
I do.
actually like to see Godzilla go back to his original root to become the antagonist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Okay, so
and
you're not gonna be upset with Godzilla -1. I promise you. Yeah, he's the antagonist in the movie.
good. Um, and I like to see them eventually kind of bring in, how do we fight it? Mecha Godzilla was actually, to me, the bringing
Mm,
in the Mecha Godzilla
mm,
is a form of way of them. They were testing, see if they could build this other
mm.
Godzilla. They wanted to, but it was somebody controlling it from the inside, which really does feed into mechs to me.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's where I see if they continue with this for it to go. Because eventually you've brought in Kong, you've got Gojira, you've shown bits and pieces of like
Mm,
Mothra and this and that. You're gonna have to go that way. But if you're gonna bring in, you've done King of the Monsters, but if you're gonna start bringing in some of the other big names, you can't. Do not. Pacific Rim is such a good movie, by the way.
yeah.
You if you listen to me right now, you people who produce movies. If you take my Mothra and you try to make Mothra the bad guy, I'm gonna
No,
kick you
never,
in the
never.
nuts.
No, no, not acceptable. Not acceptable. Not acceptable. Mosura is a heroine. She is, and it's always she, by the
It is a
way.
she.
Masura is a protector of the earth, and just because the humans don't know what they're doing to the earth doesn't mean Mosura is in the wrong. Mosura is always in the right. That is one of the reasons why kids and women and a lot of men love Mosura, because she is never in the wrong, and
Nope.
she is fighting against people in the wrong, and she is a hero. She may be a giant moth, but she is a hero or
Just
heroine or however you want to pronounce it, whatever's acceptable. I don't care. But Mosura is always the person you can back. You can always back her. You're going to try to bring a moth into your room.
no.
Is, is that what
I
you're doing with the light?
no. No. I'm trying to see. I don't think it's in here. So I just keep talking because I can. The lovely thing about my headset is that it does. allow me to move around. I just can't remember where I put my poster.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you.
That's Godzilla versus Cthulhu. Um, did I not put it up? I thought I put it up somewhere.
Mm.
Um, huh. Well, that's interesting. I have a really great poster. I guess I haven't put it because I ran out of picture frames.
Mm.
It is so I live in Ohio, so Cincinnati. So the Cincinnati Reds Stadium, and it's Mothra versus Gamera versus Gargira
Wow.
at the Cincinnati Reds Stadium.
I want to see that. I want to
Yeah,
see that.
I'm seeing if I can find them.
Mm.
Oh, what was? Oh, and just because just so you do understand, because I didn't realize that one was in my room.
Mm.
Um, there's Godzilla destroying New York.
Oh, beautiful.
There's
Oh,
Shin
yeah.
Godzilla.
All right, hold on that one. Got to go full screen. Yes.
Shin Godzilla.
Yes. Oh, beautiful. Love it. Absolutely love it. Oh
You've
boy.
got to trust in the fact that I have a lot of crap.
Oh, you're making me laugh like Crankor from MSC3K.
Look, look. There's a lot of stuff little collector has.
Ah, beautiful. Wonderful. So, all right. I mean, this brings up an idea since you kind of mentioned it.
Uh-huh.
What kaiju battle would you like to have between different companies? So we know Gamera is from Dai, and we know that Gojira and Rodan and Mothra are from Toho, and then there are a couple of other companies too. You know, like the people that did the Space Giants
Uh-huh.
and other people. So, what kind of team up would you like to see?
Oh, Jesus.
Big question. I know it's a big question. Pun intended. Big question.
Here I am digging through my posters in my bedroom trying to find something, and you're gonna throw a picture like, oh my god, I forgot that I had that. Um, oh Jesus.
Show us what you forgot you had. Show
Oh,
us.
oh, it's a old Arthur Sidham aliens picture that I got.
Oh, good artist. Very good artist. Yes.
Yeah, too bad he's a jerk. I mean, yes. Okay, it's got to be in there somewhere. Come on. Come on, baby. Love to see what Gamera could do against King. I ain't gonna lie on that one. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. I mean, you know, the thing is that with Gamera versus Gojira, Gamera's got more maneuverability. A
He
lot
does.
more.
That's why I think it would be very interesting to see those
Mm,
two go at it.
yeah.
Because I could see like King looking at him going, "Oh God, it's another Godzilla. Well, I know how to deal with this," and then being like, "Oh, well, that was not exactly what crap."
Mm,
Because King is smart enough to be like, "Okay, I can learn,"
mm.
and he does learn,
Yes.
and he figures things out.
Yeah.
So, but he's cocky enough where, yeah, he would see something like Gamera and be
Mm.
like, "Okay, it's a turtle knockoff of Gajira. I can handle this." Like, that's exactly what he would think. Tell me that he wouldn't.
No, you are absolutely correct. And the thing is that with Gamera, especially when he goes into his spinning cycle, you know what I mean? When he's
Uh huh.
flying and he's spinning, he can do some damage to Gojira. I mean, if he goes for the neck, Godzilla's arms are not that big. They can't actually reach to his neck. So if Gamera, who is also very intelligent, goes for the neck, there could be some major damage to
Hmm.
Gojira. And I mean, okay. The thing with Gojira is he's going to have to wait for Gamera to be a certain distance away and then fire the atomic breath and then hit him directly. But Gamera's head is in the turtle shell at this point, so how can it really hurt him that much?
I mean,
All
here's the
these.
thing: is I know a lot of people have always put those two together, and
Mm,
they always let Godzilla win, and I'm like,
yeah.
you're actually making the points that I've been making before. It's like, no. Oh, hello,
Yeah.
sexy Tim Curry. Where you been? Sorry. Random things Amanda says as she's going through her collections.
Yeah, precisely. And the thing is, even though Gamera is a slightly smaller monster, you have the situation where Gamera figures things out against other monsters a lot more than Gojira does. I,
Yeah,
you know what I
there
mean?
you are. There you are. Hello, you gorgeous thing, you.
There we are. You're about to show us something, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna show you that picture I was talking about.
Yes, yes. Mm. Oh, holy crap! That is great. Oh wow. Oh, that is lovely. Yes. Oh, I adore that. That is fantastic.
And see, this would be the other thing is I honestly would see being two protectors of Earth.
Mm,
If for
mm,
some
mm,
reason Gojira got the upper hand on Gamera,
mm.
Matara would come in.
Yeah.
And I would actually like to see that crossover because it would actually be interesting to see the two defenders of Earth go up against him.
Yeah. And what I would like best is if there was a third monster. So we have Gamera and Gojira fighting with each other. And then the third monster represents the biggest threat to Earth. And then they have to team up. Because who could possibly survive against Gojira and Gamera as a two-person team? It would be
And that's when
impossible.
Cthulhu comes out of the ocean.
Well, I don't know if they could survive against him, but it would be a great fight. Look at her. Oh, I adore her so much. So much. She was the only reason I like Blues Brothers, to be perfectly honest. I loved her in Blues Brothers.
See the
Mm. Yeah, I see that signature. That is magnificent. Oh, and this
and
goes
this
back.
is an official Lucasfilms art print because
Oh, nice.
he's an actual Lucasfilms art artist.
Yes.
Another good
Eh,
friend of mine.
I One of the reasons when I was a kid and Star Wars came out and I adored it was because of Carrie Fisher. I mean, her as Princess Leia just really, really rocked my world. And the way that she in the first film would talk back to Han and make
Stupid
fun
to
of
everybody.
Chewie. Yeah, yeah, precisely. Yes. And the only time she gives a kiss and she says it's for luck. I mean, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
That kiss is more. Don't you drop my ass.
Oh, it's fantastic. And then, she gets a little bit more tough in the second film, but in the first film, in very many ways, I consider her um, one of the top 3 stars, if not top 2 stars in the film. I really do. And when I was a kid, it amazed me when the girls who were my age were always interested in Han Solo and always interested not in Luke but in C-3PO, but not interested in Princess Leia. And it made no sense to me at all. It's like, how can you not see the value of this character? You know?
Thank you. Well, I mean, I can understand paying attention to Han Solo.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, honestly, Harrison Ford, he was a very good-looking young man back then. Very good-looking young man.
No, he was the bad boy. Had nothing to do with that. Do you
He's,
not understand this perception with young women yet?
I
Oh,
think
he's
I
bad.
do.
He's rugged. He's broken. I can fix him. No, you can't.
Yeah.
I can
No.
fix it. No, you can't. I can fix. Oh, yeah. You'll get out of that in about 20 years, honey.
I'm pretending I don't know what you mean. Shall we say it that way? I'm pretending I don't know. I've been
Mm-hmm.
through that. I once had to pretend to be a bad boy to get a date with a woman I fell in love with.
Han Solo, I can fix him. Professor Snape, I can fix him. Lord Voldemort, never mind, he doesn't have a nose.
No nose. No nose. No nose. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Cthulhu, I can fix him.
He has no nose either. There's
Yes,
no
he does.
nose.
You just can't see it because it's tentacles.
You know, but Godzilla has a nose. He does have a nose. He got two little nostrils at the front of his face. Two little nostrils.
See?
You look at the nostrils. They're so cute. Look at the nostrils. Oh, my dear.
So,
yes.
I'm going to finish this off because it's now
Okay.
11:30 with one last thought.
Yep.
Godzilla's kind of sci-fi-ish.
Very. Yes.
What outside of kaiju?
Mm-hmm.
What sci-fi series? Any creature from a sci-fi series or person from a sci-fi series
Okay.
shows up, do you think would make an interesting development within the kaiju world? Because I just had a thought and I went, oh shit.
I'm going to go back to the original 1960s Outer Limits.
Okay.
And I'm just got to look it up and find out the exact creature. Outer Limits.
And I'll let you finish this, and then I will have one to make you all go, oh shit.
Okay, so give me a second. Outer Limits.
Not that I'm bragging, but mine's going to be better than yours.
Oh, it's going to be. Trust me. The mouse chat. Okay, go there. And okay, so we have the creature from the Outer Limits in The Mice, the episode The Mice. And that stars Henry Silva, by the way, who is a great character actor. Now, you take one of those creatures and they are scaled up, which would happen often in Ultraman. So scaling up is not a problem. Something starts out the size of a man or a woman, ends up being 150 feet tall. You take that creature and base it off against any other kaiju, and I think we would have a winner, an absolute winner.
Okay. You have to play bad to get a date.
But the creature in The Mice is so horrific that as a kid, I changed the channel. And it scared the crap out of me. And then I had to be about 12 years old before I could actually watch the entire episode. But I think that would be because they don't really have any empathy. And so facing off against a creature that has, I mean, Gojira has no empathy towards humans in some aspects, but does have empathy towards the earth, whereas the creature from The Mice has no empathy at all. So
you want to see these two battle and see what that would. Okay.
Yeah, precisely. Now, what about yours?
I'm going to go darker.
Oh, I love it. I like it. I like it.
What if the xenomorphs and a face hugger got to a kaiju.
Oh, that's horrible. That's a horrible idea. That's beautifully horrible. Oh my God. Because we know what the face huggers, they adopt the host element. Oh my God, a 300-foot tall xenomorph. Oh, that's evil. I admire you so much. I admire you so much for that. That is so wrong. And I love it. I want to see it happen. Oh my God, that's so terrible. What a great way to end the show. That was magnificent. Oh, real applause. Real applause. Oh, yeah, you kind of stacked on me there. Mine is nothing compared to yours.
I mean, I hate to
great.
brag, but I told you I'd win.
Yeah, you were right. 100%. 100%. And I agree. Absolutely. Bow to the queen. Bow to the queen. Absolutely. Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Bring the xenomorphs into the kaiju realm and, well, I need a new home, please.
That's beaut. That's beaut. Well, at this point, shall we say goodnight to the chat?
I think it is time to say goodnight. So thank you, everybody who showed up both on the YouTube side and over on the Twitch side. I greatly appreciate it. Again, shout out to my buddy Heath for the 40 bits. I really appreciate that. You know, it thank you so much for the support. Christopher, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. Diamond, Mrs. Fuel, and everybody else. If I missed anybody, Real Way Nation for the shout out. I appreciate it. Of course, a huge thank you to my buddy Hungry here for stopping by.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Is there anything that you want people to know about your Twitter account, or I mean, it's going to be in the description.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. I'm here to help other channels out, honestly. I don't do anything for my own. So you keep talking and I'll just keep listening. Oh, thank you, Christopher. Thank you so much.
Oh. But seriously, guys, thank you guys so much for stopping by and supporting the channel. If you're over on YouTube, yes, I'm on Twitch. And if you're over here on Twitch, yes, I'm on YouTube. And if you watch this on a replay over on YouTube, don't forget to go ahead and subscribe if you're not already subscribed over on YouTube, and leave a comment down below in the messages, because all that helps the algorithm so the channel gets seen more. And if you're over on Twitch, go ahead and follow. If you do want to subscribe, I highly recommend using your Amazon Prime. It is part of your Amazon Prime package, so it doesn't cost you anything extra. And you can either use it here on my channel or any other Twitch streamer that you want to help support. And it's absolutely free because it's part of your Prime package. That's what I would highly recommend using. And of course, if you want to make sure that you're always up to date with what AGP is doing, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit. And to keep in mind that the convention season is about to start. So I want to give a quick reminder to, yes, AGP will be at 2 conventions this year. We are going to be at the Gem City Comic-Con, which is going to be July 20th and 21st at the Dayton Convention Center in Dayton, Ohio. And we will also be at Hannah's Camp America in Camden, Ohio on the 6th, 7th, and 8th of June at Geek Out, where we will have, in both places, you'll be able to meet me and a few of the people that actually help with the channel. And we will have some AGP merch that you'll be able to get. That free. So, of course, as always, thank you guys so much for your support. I do greatly appreciate it. And I will see you all in the comment section. Have a good night.
Night-o.
Night.